Hello, welcome to the Warren County Sports Authority, again presented by Prater's Barbecue. And guys, we're going to have a night tonight.
It's going to be a good night.
I can already tell. We have Jonathan Hutt.
I'm going to be honest, we're going to have some listeners going to be really upset. Like, hey, I set my clock. We are a sundial.
Yeah, there are a lot of people that have already said that. I can't believe y'all aren't doing this on a Wednesday. But hey, just to let y'all know, we will be on Warren First on Wednesday as well. But the data center talk demanded that we had to be here. We're in the administrative building right now. Y'all came through. There are people everywhere here.
I had to park 3 streets over.
I parked at Red
I thought
Road.
it was graduation.
Yeah, if you can see on the video right now, you can see people filing in the administration building. We're in the dogwood room back here, so we can actually hear everything that's going on over there. We even got a little bit of extra idea of how many people are here. But again, this is the Warren County Sports Authority, and we are presented by Prater's Barbecue, where you need to fire up your grill and bring your appetite, because the Phyllis Prater Memorial Steak Cook-Off is coming back to Morrison this weekend. 635-2259-9576 Manchester Highway SCA World Championship Qualifier. Trev, who's going to win? Us. We're going to win. We're going to go out there and eat.
Yeah.
But again,
I'm excited.
from steaks to ribs, wings to desserts, competitors will be throwing down all day long. We're turning this happening throughout the afternoon, leading up to the awards ceremony. There's even a kids hot dog competition, so make it a great event for the whole family. Again, go out there, enjoy it. It's out there on the right.
I'll turn around.
And Trev, go to that.
Yeah, chicken tenders.
Chicken tenders.
Chicken tenders, potato wedges.
Yeah.
I mean, just
Got all fixed.
yeah.
Well, hey, listen, we're not going to just beat around the bush here. Let's get right into seeing the future with Krebs Kubota. I don't have the voice today, boys. I'm telling you.
Well, I don't know if we should do it.
I was told we had next door neighbors that didn't want to hear that. Is that true?
That is probably true. But hey, if you're ready to tackle any job in Middle Tennessee, from powerful Kubota tractors, mowers, and construction to steel chainsaws, Krebs Kubota has what you need. Your local dealer of choice for sales, service, and rentals. Visit Krebs Kubota in Murfreesboro and experience the Krebs way. That's Krebs Kubota at 615-890-1200. You can also find them at KrebsKubota.com. Guys, seeing the future is 10 minutes from now, there's going to be some people in this room right to our left that are going to be trying to make some decisions for data centers in Warren County. What do you expect to hear from this meeting when we turn it on?
What do I think is fixing to happen?
Yeah.
I think that you're going to the county commission that says, hey, let's push this down the road about 6 to 12 months. Let's get through election. We'll talk.
Election 2026. Let's get this off the ballot.
Yeah.
Again, too, I think this has been obviously something that we should tell everybody about. If you've not already seen it, Kelly Walker did a tremendous job bringing the panel together
100%.
yesterday on the Warren First with the Q&A. Had the Hicksons in there, Hickson Data Center, which is proposed to potentially be here in 2028.
Yes.
We're going to have a little bit more topic on that one before it's all said and done.
Website that says it will be up there.
There is one. But the county is meeting tonight. We're getting people called in special. We're going to live stream that for you with Warren First tonight. So when we go to it.
Yes, Gary, come on.
Yeah. So if you're a county commissioner out there wondering, hey, wonder if this is important, I'm going to tell you right now it is. Trev, what did you see out there?
Hey, people were out the door when I walked in. I said, hey guys, I need to get in. And I'll be honest, when you said, hey, we're in the dogwood room,
Yeah.
I had no clue where I was going.
Did you know where the administrative building was?
Yeah.
Okay.
I had to ask him, I said, hey, that's where I go get my tags, right?
The tag place.
Yeah.
But,
No, I was walking down the hall, I was just looking left and right, and it said dogwood, and I was like, that's the place.
yeah, that was the place. Did you didn't even know the password?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
Then somebody started talking to me, so I didn't even hear him say that.
Yeah, well, hey, listen again to see the future on here. I'm the biggest question to me is, Sullins, and I know that everybody's that we're gonna have to talk a little bit about this more after the 5 o'clock meeting starts. Is, I mean, like data centers, I don't think this is not going to be something that goes away even if we kick the can down a year from now. Is there? I mean, what do you want to see or hear from your commissioners tonight? If the person who's representing you tonight, what do you want to hear them say?
Well, I would like to hear, I want to go on record as far as where they stand right now and the pros and cons, because there are pros and cons. No matter, I can see both sides of this argument. It does see that the con side, it seems to be a lot more vocal as we speak, a lot more fans
Yeah.
on that home team.
Yeah.
But I do think that, that there's let's be honest, we're using data right now. I mean,
Yeah.
hey,
We're having this whole discussion about whether or not that we should have data centers. When the guy says we want to use the data center to provide meta, if you're watching on Facebook right now,
Thank you, Meta.
you're welcome, meta. I mean, if you saw our graphics, you're welcome. Look right around my head right now on the screen right now. I mean, these things, it's needed. I mean, the one that cracked me up was when I think it was Alex Hickson, is it the name on there said, "Did you ever use autocorrect on your phone?" You used AI. I'm like, I was like, when you start putting it like that, folks, I'm a little bit more interested in maybe what are we going to do here?
Yeah, but people didn't see a data center before. Now they see it. They just thought autocorrect was something that was on your phone. Now that's a building down the street. They're like, I don't know about that.
That autocorrect spelling of some words that you maybe or maybe not need to send, all of a sudden when it's polluting your backyard, you're like, I don't like that anymore.
Well, I'm gonna ask you, what do you want to hear?
I want to know whether or not that you're going to, is this county ready to step up to the plate and say we're going to start zoning?
I didn't want to go there this early. I didn't want to go there this early.
I think that at some point that's going to be a topic.
We sat at a round table similar to this probably 6 months ago.
Yes,
6 to 8 months ago.
yeah.
You know the exact date. We were talking about a quarry,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody said, "Hey, we've got land rights. I don't want anybody infringing on that." I don't want to say that there's been any flip flopping, but I will say that there's some more discussion that is taking place because of that. And that discussion, like you said, what Kelly did with Supreme and Reese and all those people that showed up here today, and I'll expand on that later in the show. That was really how it should be. Great discussion.
Sounds like we're going to get ready. So we're going to let it go into the meeting, and we're going to sit back and listen to it with y'all, and then we will do the rest of the Sports Authority show when we're over.
To make a change, we need to swap 3 and 4. Agriculture extension, he has another meeting, so we're gonna put agriculture extension in 3 and then put industrial development board in number 4. Any more changes to the agenda? All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? All right, now we'll vote on the agenda. The changes have been voted on. All in favor, say aye. Any against? All right, passes.
Motion to accept that.
Motion to accept the minutes from the last meeting, dispense with the reading.
Yes. Second.
Second by Mr. Dodson. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Now, he will execute it on agriculture extension.
Yeah, thank y'all for having me. Y'all should have a copy of my report. You pack it there. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have on it. You have a lot planned for dairy month. Yes, they're gonna kick off, Thursday at the, Ag Committee. I know we're going to, having a June Dairy Month Day camp. Tomorrow and Thursday, touring the MTSU Dairy, which is one of the last few left, but yes. Mr. Sawyer Mower is our June Dairy Month chair, so he'll be making appearances throughout town promoting good products of the American dairy producer.
President Young Money.
He can speak.
Yes, please.
Very much so.
Anyone have any questions for me? Motion to approve, Commissioner Lee. Second, Commissioner Martin. Anyone want to speak to the motion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes. 5-0.
Yeah.
Now we receive the report from the adopted ordinance Wendy Snake.
Thank you, everybody. You shall have my report. If you have any questions, the only comment I did want to make is a reminder that on Friday, the chamber, I believe Jennifer is here somewhere. But the chamber will be sponsoring along with us the Community Career Expo at 3-Star Mall. I believe it's 11:30.
Everybody's got their committee report short.
You usually have a lot of questions.
Don't have too many questions tonight. Well, anyone have to go ahead?
That cargo went up.
Oh, we attended the unveiling for the State Archaeological Park with T-Deck. I believe there was over, Dick Bill there. There was, I'd say over 100 people there that day. It was an amazing turnout to unveil the new state park. They don't have it ready for tours and things yet, but they're getting it there. They'll have a new, entry area where you can go and see different things from the things that we do.
That'd be good.
And you did the site tour, down the fence, that top again.
Yes, sir. Coffee County Industrial Board, and Middle Tennessee Industrial Development Association invited the regional economic developers to go to the I-24 site, in Manchester and tour it. That was the first time any of us have got to see it, so it's pretty impressive. TCAT is where we met. They, TCAT in Minville, as y'all are aware, got a $25 million expansion in their budget and the Manchester campus. And so we were actually able to meet in that building and see the new building. I believe their great opening ribbon cut is in July. They just sent information out. We'll make sure all of y'all get that as well. But yeah, we were able to see that large property. It was about 1,823 acres.
Any questions for Mr. Lee? Motion to approve. Motion to approve, Mr. Dawson.
Second.
Second, Commissioner Hillis. Anyone wants to speak on the motion? If not, all in favor say aye. Any opposed? Passes 5-0. Thank you, Ms. Lee. Do we have a representative from the fire board? It's really in here. Mr. Jim Dyer from the fire board.
Let me pass out my report. Sorry, I didn't get to earlier. This is the same information that will be in the quarterly report to the full commission, but it's not. The airport had a good month and a good quarter. The change in the oil market drove the prices up and down and up again. We ended up selling more fuel than usual and was able to make a little larger contribution than usual this month. I do not know how long that will last because we had to buy fuel, both jet and avgas, at the higher price the last time we bought it. So we are not quite the bargain that we used to be. We're working with the estate of one of our tenants that passed last summer. We're still trying to get paid for the rent and still cannot. So we're going to move the plane out of the hangar and rent it to somebody else. Maintenance building is finished. We opened bids for our apron expansion project and only got 2 bids, and they were both higher than our budget. We're looking at how to scale the project back and rebid it. And the local chapter of the EAA started our breakfasts third Saturday of the month. Also, we now have an airplane for rent and instructors. So for the first time in a long, long time, folks can learn to fly at the Warren County Airport. And we have a tandem skydiving operation at the airport now. So you can take a tandem skydiving jump. And my challenge to all the commissioners is, I'll do it if you'll do it.
I'll buy yours, but I'm not going.
And that's my report. The routine reports are attached.
How much over was the bids on that? Quite significant.
Significantly, yes, more than $500,000. And then it was really odd. We're gonna sit down with the bidders and some people who were interested but did not submit a bid and say, well, what is it that's driving the cost on this thing? What could be changed?
The stuff that elevated out.
It did not look like anything near as big a deal to us. I agree.
Yeah, because it looked like it'd be relatively simple, Bert.
And it may have been in the terms that folks didn't understand or something, but it appeared that weren't very interested to do the work because it was just too hot. But, you're right, it's not that huge a project.
You know how many acres that it entails?
Approximately 15, I think, including the septic field, maybe a little less than that.
Of those two bidders, maybe a low.
No. There was a local bidder who came and asked questions and took a tour of the property and looked it all over and then did not submit a bid. I'm gonna ask them why.
And it's gonna be level, just level, there's no.
Just like, we do have to take some dirt out that's not compactable enough to put a building on. So there, some of the dirt will have to be moved, and one of the things we asked is that that dirt be moved on the other side of the terminal building, so it would be there for the next project. That may have caused the price to go up. Maybe we just need to pile the dirt up next to this project and instead of hauling it. I don't know, but it's, once you load it, you know, you might as well put it where you're gonna need it eventually. But so we didn't think that was too big a deal, but maybe it is.
It's not all premises, it's not just transporting, that's what it is.
And it's a puzzle, but we had to just talk to everybody and then publish what we found and rebid it.
Motion to approve, Mr. Lee, second, Mr. Dawson. Anyone want to speak to the motion? All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Passes 5-0.
Thank you.
Mr. Dow. Neil Walker here, reports from soil conservation. Well, now we come to what I would assume that most everyone's here for, is a discussion of the status. Before we, I'll go ahead and use this microphone. All right, before we start, I'm going to assume that most of the people that have signed up, we have 12 people that signed up, wants to comment. Most of them won't comment about the project that is going in on, or proposed to go in on Belmont and Industrial Drive. So I would let you know that the county has absolutely nothing to do with that project because it is in the city, it's under their jurisdiction. So anything you say about that particular project really doesn't affect. The reason we're discussing this here tonight is for us to get educated. Most of us found out about this about the same time y'all did. And I don't know a lot about that. I really didn't even consider them until about a week ago. And I've done a lot of research. I've Googled it. I've read about it. I've tried to talk to people that knows about it. And I have come to one conclusion. If somebody is wanting to invest in it, it's not that bad. And if they don't, they really hate it. So there's no in between. But we have been educated by a few people that all projects are not bad, but they do have some resource draws that's not, I don't know what to say, it's not very pretty to most people. But I will say, is the Hickson folks here? Alex or Ray, are they here? I was told that they would be here. Okay, Wendy, would you like to let us know what I asked Wendy if she would try to educate herself as much as possible. So she's going to try to enlighten us a little bit.
So I don't have too many comments about this particular project, but, so I know, I emailed with Alex yesterday. He thought he was gonna be able to be here. He thought something else might come up and he was gonna try. I was hoping he could send me some other information. But there was a lot of good information yesterday on the podcast if y'all had not seen it with the panel discussion with Executive Bill and others. As far as the IDB, the Hickson Data Center that's being proposed and developed, of course, it's by private property owners on their own property that is currently zoned industrial. It has not been discussed and or formally presented to the IDB. We have not received any information to conduct any type of analysis that we would normally perform on a project under consideration by the board as a prospect. That being said, we are not advocating for nor opposing the project due to lack of information. I will say data centers, crypto mining, battery energy storage systems known as BESS. Though none of those are within the target sectors that the IDB goes to recruit after. Our main mission, as y'all know, is the recruitment of high-paying jobs into the community with the focus of manufacturing. When we are approached by any prospect, whether manufacturing, logistics, technology, agriculture, or otherwise, we evaluate all the core factors, everything the same. Jobs created, the wages of the jobs created, capital investment, infrastructure demands, utility usage, environmental considerations, and overall the best fit for our community. Of course, my role is to provide information regarding the economic development process and how projects are evaluated. I'm not a subject matter expert on data center operations, power generation. We rely on a broad network of partners, including universities, our utility providers, state agencies, and other subject matter experts to gather objective, science-based information when we look at all complex projects such as this. I will say, as Carl and I have had a couple discussions, the term data center, I think over the past 2 weeks, it's been thrown out. It's a very large term. It encompasses a wide range of facilities with very different operational models, different utility requirements, different employment levels, different community impacts. They are not inherently, I'll say, good or bad. They are simply a type of project. And like any industry, every project should be evaluated on its merits using accurate information and looking at the measurable impacts, whether that is utility usage, whether that is environmental impact. It should all be looked at to see if it's the best fit for the community. Historically, the majority of a lot of data centers were not viewed as larger employees. Outside of property taxes, there wasn't a lot of economic benefit to the company in the past. Some of that has changed with different kind of projects that are coming along with some of the AI data centers. But once again, of course, we are not versed in all of that, since it's not one of our target sectors. And as I said, all parts should be weighed against each other to see if it's the best fit for the community.
Okay, you said that there were some benefits that it brought besides the land taxes that might come now. What would that be?
I said historically in the past, there had not been. So currently, some of the large, and I would say the larger, when you look at the hyperscale, which is not, so this is not what this project is. This project, I think they're looking, I'm not sure, looking at 4 acres, maybe. Like I said, I've not been versed in the project. When we look at some of the hyperscale projects, like in Texas, they're looking at like hundreds and thousands of acres. Those projects are setting aside, I would say, more so like educational and childcare endowments for the community, like environmental endowments, things that if they think that they're going to have some effect on the environment, they're setting aside endowments to put forth to the community to help it in the future if it were to happen. Childcare is a big one. Education and tech training, that's something that they're setting aside. But once again, those are large scale projects, not necessarily what we're talking about here. But once again, the IDB has not been presented this project. We don't own the property. You know, we have no direction where it.
Okay, without Hickson family here to educate us on exactly what this particular, do you know what this particular project that they're talking about?
I mean, basically what I've heard and seen is what's been on the website, what they said yesterday. I know they said it's a 25 megawatt facility that will be self-generated power. It is a self-fuel generation with a bloom technology. So basically they'll be taking natural gas and converting it into electricity. They said their backup power will also not be off the grid. It will also be diesel generation. So then you have terms of course, there could be some CO2, noise, other things, but without knowing those levels, I mean, I can't speak to that.
Okay, I have heard that 50 decibels is what the, it would be 24/7, 50 decibels. That's pretty loud.
Yeah. So the decibels, and that's one thing. So we actually, for the industrial park, we actually have a set level of decibels that the industry can be set at, or they're not allowed in the industrial park. So I did break it. So the industrial park in Morrison, the frequency band in sound cycles per second of 75 to 100 allows for 50 decibels, but no more. So it depends on what the frequency band is and how that matches with decibel.
But 50 decibels in an industrial park is different than if it's
Yes.
close to a residential area.
It would,
Okay, does any of the committee member have any questions for Wendy that she might have?
52. 50 decibel, what do you compare that to, Wendy?
at that level, I don't even want to, like, I don't want to quote it.
I mean, noise.
I've not looked it up. I'm not, because like I said, I had heard that and kind of like you heard it. I've not heard that. I don't think from them. So I don't want to quote anything that might be best project that I'm not.
Well, we're not here for us to tell them what they're doing, and it doesn't affect us anyway. We have absolutely no say on that particular project. But what we need to do as a commission, I think, is educate ourselves about what the county could be looking at in the future and maybe take steps to protect the community.
And I will make a note, of course, Carl, if some of y'all remember, Carl had asked me to be a subject matter expert. At that time, we did not have the data from the project. So now that we're starting to get more, if I can get the numbers from Alex, or Ray, Mr. Dixon, I have no problem getting with some of our other people that are subject matter experts and having them look at that scale and giving you more information. But we didn't have that at the time where we pull somebody in, we just.
And maybe I asked her to try to get someone to come to talk to us about it, but she said that everyone she talked to, they said that you got to be specific. There's so much difference in all of them that you got to be specific, the size and everything. So you really can't just speak to them in general. It's not like talking about, you know, some block of trees or something.
Yeah, Alex, I think said yesterday, their numbers were pretty preliminary. And so until that's kind of finalized, I mean, we don't have anybody that can speak to it per se.
We need to, do you deal with TDEC any on some of the noise? Of any of your.
I've not dealt with TDEC on any noise complaints or anything. We've dealt with TDEC on air emissions, for one facility. It was not a complaint or anything. It was something permitted for them.
Bridgestone or Bruzu probably maybe have studies or their plants.
Right, we could reach out to them and see where their decibel level is.
Yeah, well, I mean, that'd be something we could compare it to. If we knew what their.
Like I said, I would just like to get the information from Nixon to know that we're comparing apples to apples.
When you're talking to other IDP in other counties, are you aware that surrounding counties are dealing with the same issue?
Yes. Several counties are dealing with similar issues. I will say all the projects are different. Our project is the only project we've heard like it. The majority of the projects that are going around the state are what we would consider like an open leak water. They're not regenerating their own water. A lot of them are using a spray technology to cool the systems. This is not for what they've put on their website. So it'd be less water usage for their website. So like I said, it's different. That was one thing when I was reaching out to people, they had, just from what we were trying to hear, no way for these technologies being used as frequently, I guess, around here.
And I think you're right too. I think each one needs to be evaluated. Any industry, period, needs to be evaluated. And I know you do it, the IDB. Y'all, somebody won't come in, you look at how much infrastructure they're gonna need and what jobs they're bringing and whatnot. But, I heard an example last night and it was in Upper Cumberland. They said that out of the top two utility users in Upper Cumberland, I'm not sure where it is exactly, just Upper Cumberland. One of them was a factory that had 1,000 employees. The second one was a data center that had 8 employees. So, you know, you could weigh that out. That's a lot of natural resources to be used on a plant that only brings 8 people and has other stuff.
Amen.
We'll get to public comment just a minute.
County of Greenville generates 15 megawatts on average a month. A data center is going to average 25 megawatts, like the lady said, and that's the minimum for a 200 square thousand foot facility. I'm an electrician. I've worked in data centers for the past 30 years. Just to give you all an idea of how much power it's going to generate. Heat, water, all that stuff. They're gonna absorb a lot of resources from it. There's one gentleman standing for 25 minutes.
Oh. Sir, did you sign to speak up, to speak?
No, sir.
Okay, but you said you've worked in the data centers as an electrician?
I've worked in many data centers, yes.
Okay, can you give us any input? Can you give us some information? Yeah, come up to the mic, please.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
I live on the edge of the county. I live on the edge of the county, like my backyard's the Coffee County line. I've been here for 5 years. I lived on the other side of Viola prior to that. I work in Nashville with a commercial, industrial, electrical contractor, one of the biggest in Nashville. Right now, we're doing the airport. Y'all can Google it if you want to find out where. We've done data centers, all over Middle Tennessee, but on a small scale, hospital data center for Vanderbilt, those kind of places. They're not as expensive and, they don't draw as much power. The data centers that y'all are looking at are more like server farms. A server is basically a refrigerator sized unit, and it's got all kinds of computers in it. They store information. And a facility that has a couple of 100,000 square feet of space for server farms normally has a raised floor, because you need all those cables need to go somewhere, and they'll route most of them underneath the floor. Now, the floor as well as the building has to be cooled, very cold, because they generate so much heat. It is insane. When I go into the place, I can't with sweatshirt. When I go to these places, I have to wear a sweatshirt. It's that cold in there. And they pull an immense amount of power. I mean, like I said, roughly 15 megawatts is what the entire, I would say the entire county pulls. Well, not the county, but the city limits. To give you an idea, Walmart only pulls 1.2 megawatts of power. And that's on a good day. On a nice hot day when they're running the air conditioning. And that's Walmart. Multiply that by 25. So basically, you're powering 25 Walmarts. And that's a minimum. On the hotter days, everything runs hotter. They need cooling towers. You're all seen Erin Brockovich, the cooling towers, the chromium, all that stuff. They do need cooling towers because they feed, it looks like a mini submarine. It's called a chiller. They run the water through the chiller that cools the water down. It has, just like your condenser, your AC condenser, pulls the heat out, cools it down, runs it through, feeds all the air conditioning units, which there are plenty of them, because to get that kind of cooling in a building like that, I mean, and that's why that factory with 2,000 employees, they have, I would venture a guess what it is, to the mill.
I really don't know.
Anyways, I mean, they have a lot of motors, and motors are what pulls power. When you have massive water pumps, you have massive air conditioning units, massive chillers, all massive motors pulling a lot of power.
Yeah, what I was talking about is the factory had 1,000 employees. It was just some type of factory. But the data center that was up
Well,
there
yeah.
had 8 employees, and they use second.
You have your happy maintenance workers, guys that maybe do general maintenance, general maintenance, cleaning. You probably have your computer programmers, people who are computer savvy, which, I don't know how many people in Greenville are computer savvy. Places like this usually either have a person already, or they're bringing out of town talent to do that end of the work. So the jobs we're probably going to get are like an electrical maintenance guy, a guy like me, who's going to be able to keep everything running and, not burn the place down. And probably, like industrial HVAC kind of guy for the cooling systems and such. So, I mean, it's not going to provide opportunities other than investment. And let's be real, how many people in here invest in anything? But they have enough money to invest in it. The real estate developers in the area, they're all the ones who are going to be able to afford it. The rest of us we just got to go along with it.
I have a question for you. He says he's going to provide his own electricity through the turbines and stuff. Is that?
Oh, yeah, I mean, but he's got to power it somehow. Either he's powering electric motors or he's powering turbines, and probably steam generators.
So he's still gonna use the electric.
He's either gonna use some electricity. But if he's got gas powered turbines, he's gonna use natural gas.
And 3 million gallons of water a year is what they.
I think 3 million. 3 million. I think it's
Too low.
it's probably not their low end, like 25 megawatts is on their low end, you know what I mean?
Right.
These, a 200,000 square foot facility it'll fluctuate, it could go 25, it could go 50 megawatts, depending on how hot it is outside. And if it gets brutally hot up, and we got a lot of humidity, these centers are gonna up, and everything just ramps up to keep it at the temperature they need to keep it at.
All right, does anybody on the committee have a question for this gentleman? Do any of the other commissioners have a question?
I do.
Yeah.
What do you think the best place a community or a county could say where this center should go? Where centers like this should go?
Well, I heard y'all throw out Morrison, Industrial Park, which is right next to the water plant.
Yeah.
We really want their cooling water to mix into our groundwater. Now, it was once a building that's gonna generate so much heat to be around the residential area or within 5 miles of the residential, because it will raise it in the area. They don't tell you that part. It will.
Actually, the water from West Warren comes from certain miles away. They pump it from, yeah, Iron Fork there, but it's quite a lot, but I get your
What
point.
would happen if one of the pipes had a leak and it leached into the water?
That's right.
Amen.
And then it gets pumped into the, what I like to refer to as the tall onion,
Yeah.
you know, because you have a pump station down low, pumps it into the onion, it creates the water pressure to get out to where it needs to get out to.
All right, I appreciate your information. We're gonna move on. Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it. Don't let him do it. Don't let him do it, folks.
What's your name?
I'm Peter.
Peter what?
Peter Keller.
Keller.
Yes.
Go ahead, Scott.
So my question is for that guy.
He's got a question for you.
Go ahead.
So, do you feel like this, data industry that we have sweeping the nation, how long has it been around, first of all?
Well, data centers have been around for a long time, but on a smaller scale because, you know, in the 90s, we had Windows 95 and 98, and that was roughly when the internet was just getting started. But now you have so much information, that information needs to be stored somewhere.
Right.
And with AI especially, what AI does is it creates and it saves. So, you know,
Yeah.
you need a lot of computing power and you need a lot of storage.
Right.
You know, when you're talking about millions of terabytes. More than, 5 terabytes would be more than enough to put everybody's pictures in this entire county in a hard drive and still have space.
Yeah.
And if they're using millions of terabytes of information, think
Right.
about that.
So would it be fair to say that this industry needs a lot more research and development in order to perfect the processes and the systems that it has, so that it doesn't make such a huge impact on the communities that they're in?
If you want somebody to share in the cost of your operations, are you gonna put it out in the middle of nowhere, or are you gonna put it somewhere where it's populated? Think about that. America is vast. They don't need to put a data center in McMinnville. They can go to the Midwest. There's thousands of acres that they don't have to worry about poisoning the water, for 100 miles.
But there's no water up there.
Well,
They don't want to go there.
that's their problem, not ours.
So what I'm saying is, like the chips, they generate the heat, the process that they have to go through to cool those chips and to cool the water. Would there be more research and development needed to mitigate the effects of those processes in the community?
There's no way to mitigate it.
Okay.
There's no way. I'll give you an example. You all have air conditioning at your houses? You know the condenser that's outside with the little fan on the top? When it's running, go outside and stand by it. You'll feel the heat coming out of it.
Right.
And that's your house. Imagine a facility as large as a data center or a Walmart. How much heat it's putting out to the atmosphere.
That's right.
Just stick your hand next to the output on your.
It's quintessential, if you don't have enough power, I mean, they would need an immense amount of property for solar, an immense amount of property. And then you've got all those ungodly solar panels. They don't have that size of a property. So what they need is fuel, some type of fuel for their power generation. It could be electric from the local electrical contractor. It could be power generated on site by turbines. You know, and think about this. We have 11 backup generators to power this town in the event of an outage and to help distribute some power here and there to keep the grid from completely collapsing. We have 11 generators for 15 megawatts. How much power generation on backup that you're not thinking of are they going to need to run that facility in the event of an outage?
Okay, Scott, we're gonna move along. I think everyone here is in agreement that these data centers, require quite a bit of natural resources. So what we need to do is to come to a decision or try to figure out a way that the county can protect itself in the future. This particular project doesn't have nothing to do with the county, but we may be looking at it in the future. So we need to come up with something to where we can protect the citizens of the county and protect our investment in this beautiful county. But does any, no more, right, hang on just a minute. Does any of the other commissioners have anything to add? All right, now, Mr. Bale, I spoke with the lawyer. There's 3 avenues to protect the county. County line zoning, we don't have it. County Powers Act, we don't have it. But we do have regulations that we can go through by the code. So Mr. Bale has asked our codes director to come here. Terry, would you like to say something and have Cole come up and talk with us?
Yeah, of course, when this come up, we understand the concern of the residents, and we're trying to do something to protect the county in case somebody was to come up. And as Carl said, the zoning is one way, County Powers Act is another. We have none of those. So we went to look at other avenues, and the county, I know everybody's frustrated, the county doesn't have any other avenues to look at, but we do have one thing. The county has building codes, and we also have a fire marshal. We are our own exempt jurisdiction in Tennessee. We have 6 of them in the state of Tennessee. Warren County just happens to be one of them. And Mr. Cole Miller is our fire marshal, and he's got some information he wants to bring forward. And this is our avenue that we can go to.
I like to talk, so I wrote it all down so I didn't get sidetracked. If I sound like a computer, I'm sorry. But, good evening. For those who don't know me, my name is Cole Miller and I am the fire marshal for Warren County. It is my job to ensure proper safety measures and construction techniques are enforced for all new commercial construction within the county, excluding the city limits of Morrison and city limits of Minden. My concern currently is the adopted fire code, which is a 2018 International Fire Code that the county has adopted, does not define what a data center is. Which leaves some gray areas within the code in which new prospective data centers could be constructed. The International Codes Council has acknowledged this issue across all the current code editions that it's published, and has started to construct a new set of guidelines regarding data centers, currently being referred to as the G12 guidelines. These guidelines will take time to construct, and they are currently in the public hearing phase of the process. I kind of want to explain that real quick. So the way codes are designed and written. Go ahead.
I'd like to ask everybody to be quiet, be respectful while he's trying to speak, because I can hear y'all louder than I can hear him.
Thank you.
All right, go ahead.
I wanted to address, how codes are written real quick before I go further. So the process is you got a bunch of really smart guys that are in the trades, right? That swing hammers, that run equipment, that know what they're doing day to day. And then you got codes guys, and then you got lobbyists, And so they have, numerous public hearings. They have numerous meetings. Codes get written, and then 2 or 3 public hearings later, they've added to the code, they've taken away from the code, they've changed one word in a single code. And so building a code book takes time. Right now, the International Code Council, which we adopted our codes from, that the state has, pretty much everybody in the United States uses the International Code Council now. But right now, they have acknowledged that under current building codes, data centers fall into a lot of gray areas. Because, you know, as Wendy said, as this gentleman in the back said, you know, you got size differences, you got, I mean, technically speaking, Ben Lomond could be considered a data center with, you know, I mean, I don't know if y'all have ever toured it, but in the basement, you know, they have all the fiber and all these things, but it's a very small scale. And then you got some that take up hundreds of acres. And so a lot of times, right now in the current building code, they get addressed as, you know, a business occupancy, which is the same occupancy type as somebody who sells playing cards. They get addressed as F1 occupancies, which is the factory. There's some high hazard occupancy types in the data, in the codes. I just wanted to elaborate on that a little bit, but it is my recommendation, along with the leadership of county executive, that we consider placing a moratorium on issuing any permits for data centers or Bitcoin mining operations within the county for the next 12 months until we have time to adopt updated codes, which actually define what a data center is. And the G12 guidelines are published by the International Code Council. In order to ensure that we have the tools we need to enforce the codes and the public safety. The problem we see right now is the technology is moving faster than the code book. And so you're getting into these situations that I don't even want to, you know, really say, because it's kind of ugly to say, but smart people are smart people and they're smarter than the rest of us, you know? And so if they want to do a data center, they want to build one, they will find the wormholes, the loopholes in the code to work their way around things. And it's being addressed, but it's one of those things, they're evolving quicker than they can publish codes. You know, so I think we need the time to kind of take a step back and figure out how we're going to regulate them using building codes. Because as it is right now, if somebody comes along and says, I want to build a data center, and they hire an architect, and the architect stamps those drawings as a business occupancy, yes, I have the right to question that. But if he has a just case and he can, you know, make a good argument, now that data center in the code is going to be treated like somebody who sells playing cards under the same regulations. You know, so that's why they're doing these G12 guidelines, and that's why I think we just need to pump the brakes. And, you know, we're coming up on 2018. We're on the 2018 code right now. We have to adopt a code within 7 years of the newest edition. So we're on to 2018. As soon as they publish a new code book, we have to adopt it. That's state law. And that'll kind of, you know, I don't know, I haven't read it. I don't even think they published the 2026s yet. But with that G12 guidelines, I think it would be a good opportunity for us to just kind of stop and take a deep breath and, you know, get caught back up. And we talked to the county attorney. He's informed us that, you know, this is something we could do. And he's currently putting together the documents for the county commissioner review. I don't know when that's going to be. I think y'all have a meeting at the end of the month.
June late, he told me today that he would have it ready. And, does anybody on committee have questions? Does any of the other commissioners have a question?
Why not 18?
Because right now, like I said, the G12, well, I mean, y'all can go as long as you want to. I would recommend a minimum of 12, just because, I mean, the G12 guidelines could be done by the middle of this summer, or it could take another 2 years. You just never know, because they're in all these public hearings, and it's just like, I mean, it's pretty much the same process that y'all deal with. You know, if one person recommends that we extend this out 10 more months until we can come together and come to a conclusion we all agree on, they'll extend it out 10 more months. So I just wanted to give us enough wiggle room.
My only comment is
Thinking the microphone.
my only comment or thought would be, I'm totally 100% with the moratorium, but I don't see why we wouldn't stretch it on to 18 months. This is June of 26. That'll give us the rest of 26 and all of 27.
Yeah.
Mr. Ross?
Yes, and you may have stated this, it was a little unclear to me. If the moratorium that we do in state, be it 10 months or a year or 18 months, at the end of that, did you say we could extend the moratorium if the guidelines from I think TDEC aren't in place yet?
Mr. Ross, I don't really want to answer that because I know the county attorney is giving the go-ahead for 12 months. I don't really know what the process would be or if it can't be after that. I thought it was that question.
Takes the balance. So, right.
What the idea on the 12 months is that we need to come up with some kind of regulations to where we can handle this thing. And I talked to Senator Boland yesterday, and we're planning to, if this committee, the county court approves that, that'll be the county court's decision, not mine. But I would suggest that we send a private action, Nashville, request that we restrict the data centers just like we do on adult entertainment, the junkyards. I do want people to understand, and don't shoot the messenger, but you cannot place the total ban on data centers. That's law. I'm not making, and I know you don't want to hear that, but I'm just telling you what the truth is. Because you will get, you can't target any industry like that. But we can put regulations on them to where we can make it extremely hard. I'll just say that, for them to come into Warren County. And that's what I would suggest this county commission do the year. Mr. Bratcher's comfortable with drawing up the year, and we, quick as this legislative session starts in January, if we've got a private act down there to carry for our legislature to carry, get Warren County to where we can handle the data centers and Bitcoin mining.
Terry's exactly right. Robert told me today, he's actually on vacation and he called me from vacation. He's talked with Terry and he's worked on this while he's trying to keep his wife happy on vacation. But anyway, he did say that. He said, if you try to ban a particular thing like data centers or something, that it is unconstitutional and you'll lose that battle. But he said you place restrictions and stuff to where if they do come in, they meet your guidelines. And you can do it on a case by case basis, you know. Some may get in, some may not. But in saying all that, he did say that he was working on a resolution to have a full meeting this year for this month. But he said from the committee would be, so I'm gonna make a motion that we place a moratorium on for 12 months. That's what he suggested to me. And everything that he said when he said he suggested, so Secretary, everything that Cole said, he's a bit fine and let's see what I got the notes here somewhere. Yes, go ahead, sir.
Cole, on this policy.
The G12 guidelines?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it like a policy that we can add to it to make it stricter?
So, yeah, so kind of long answer, but the short answer is yes. We can't adopt less than what the state has adopted with building codes, but we can amend them to be stricter. So just for instance, so you understand, say a code requires a 13R sprinkler, but we want the best sprinkler system you could possibly have. We can make that happen, but we can't say you don't have to sprinkle it at all. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
There's some,
We can't take away, but we can add to it.
that's right.
If you can read my writing, Ron, what he told me was moratorium on codes and regulations, no permits for 1 year on cryptocurrency mining, data centers, or any business storing or process that fire, building safety, and environmental codes. I'll make that formal motion. Second, Commissioner Hillis. Anyone will speak to the motion? All in favor, say aye. Anyone opposed? Passes 5-0.
You have any more questions?
Do
I'm
what?
gonna go sit down.
All right, thank you.
You know, Art, you know, the worst part about this, though,
What's that?
beat their own enemy.
Yeah. All of this here is gave the, Dixons a lot of advertisement that they probably wouldn't have got on their own. It really has, it's brought a lot of attention to this project. So they may have investors looking at it and say, hey, I'm in on that. Or they may see the uproar and say, no, I'm out, I don't know. But now we're at the portion of public comment.
Hey, Carl, before you do that, I did ask Mr. John Chisholm to come from County Fork, and I'd like him to come forward and explain kind of their position, because I think he wants to let the customers of County Fork know. So,
Thank you for having me here today. We got kind of drug into this, with the, Hickson project. The city of Mount will serve that project, not us. We do not have any authority to even try to serve that, even if they asked. But we wanted to calm the concerns of our membership, thinking that we somehow going to be involved with that, and we're not. Just to answer the gentleman's question, was up here earlier, just to kind of give you an idea, our substations right now, any one of them, the Newtown substation, the Worcester substation, the Great Falls substation, could not handle that 25 megawatts. We do not have that capacity available. Just to give you an idea, our Morrison substation that serves the current industrial park at its peak is 22 megawatts. So that's everything that's in that park. So that kind of gives you an idea of what kind of load is out there at the current time. But we are not involved with this. We are, like I said, owned by our users, our members, so they would have a say on that. The other thing is anything that's, any company that comes to us, we work with the industrial board. We let them know upfront if we can supply that company that's looking to move here. And if not, we make it known to them that that company may have to invest to build that infrastructure at their cost and not our members' cost. So we just want to make that point clear.
May I add to that? My wife works at Mount Electric. They have just borrowed $8 million to redo their 3 substations.
Correct.
Okay, so they can't handle that either.
Correct.
What's their maximum output?
That I'm not sure of.
John, the TVA spokesman has said that House Bill 1847 provided the Senate Bill 2128, it takes effect in July, provided that to where you can, any electric corporation can make the customer pay for the entire infrastructure.
Correct. Correct.
Okay, and
And anything right now, as it stands right now, anything larger, it doesn't matter what it is, whether it's data center, manufacturing, whatever it is. There's a 5 megawatt limit. Anything over that has to go through a TVA study before they could even be approved to be built. So even if Wendy brought us a widget manufacturer and it's a 10 megawatt facility, they have to go through TVA's feasibility study to make sure the TVA can supply us with the power, and then us supply them with the power and not have any cost added to the infrastructure. Now, if it goes above, beyond that, they can go into a detailed study, which costs them, I think it's 25,000 or 27,000 to do the actual in-depth feasibility study. And at that point, whatever the cost is, usually put that back onto whoever's requesting it.
so one thing, I don't know if I read it or it was in yesterday's story. They said that the utilities were on a 5 or 10 year plan, and they were working to stay ahead of growth and whatnot. Of course, Tennessee is one of the, last night, we're in the top, we're in the top
15.
Okay, we're in the top 15 growth. You can't keep up with that part. Is County Fork, do they have a 5 year plan before they're trying to enlarge their infrastructure?
We do. We're currently rebuilding the Morrison substation, which there again feeds the industrial park and some residential members. We are in the process of updating that one. We've already updated the Newtown substation. We've already updated the Spencer substation, the White County substation. So yes, we're looking at that growth going forward to make sure. And so our board does a really good job of trying to keep that cost down, by utilizing, that step method in order to not have to do any type of drastic infrastructure change that would impact the rates in the long run.
And maybe have another question for John. Does any other commissioners have a question?
I do want to say one thing, Carl. This ban that the moratorium we're putting on will not affect the city of Marshall either. The city of Mackville or city of
Percentages now there.
well, it'll affect Centertown. We actually have the ability to do codes and fire marshal in Centertown and Iowa. But Marston and Mackville, we have no jurisdiction there.
It's because they're on their own entity. Yeah, okay. And it doesn't affect this project at all. It's interesting, but that will be addressed tomorrow. John, appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Okay, now we're on to the portion of public comment. I have 12 names. I will call your name and see if you still will give you 2 minutes to speak. I will ask the parliamentarian if he will record it. If someone still has, this gentleman right here, are you on here to speak?
I am, but actually I'm probably better off speaking to the city of McMinnville over this.
Okay.
Well, the only thing is you say that Warren County's kind of not involved, but you know what? You're getting tax money from it. So you are involved. Now, if you need to redo your codes like the fire marshal was saying and stuff like that, why can't you redo the tax codes for the Warren County for a building like that? Because right now you're scheduled to receive about $2.6 million in tax, which would be really, really good for Warren County. It's good profit for you guys. Why not, with the data center, why not get $10-15 million from them in taxes? They got the money, they're putting in $400 million just to start. So why don't you redo your tax codes for that? You have to do it for the fire marshal because the data centers are all kind of new entities and what have you. Do them on a different tax scale. Get the money for this, for Warren County. Make Warren County better. If they want to be here, tax the shit out of them. Pardon my language.
Well, what is your name?
Sean, Logs,
Which one there is?
probably the last.
What you say your name was?
Sean, the bottom, I think, 105 Lake Street.
Okay, I couldn't read the first of it, but
Yes, sir.
you're number 9. I'm gonna take you off the list since you called. But you make a good point, and that's something that we can consider, yes. Yes, we will take that into consideration. That's not a terrible idea.
You're not gonna stop the money. At the end of the day, we can all bitch and moan about everything, but guess what? Progress is gonna happen, big money's gonna move in, they're gonna figure out their way to get around all of our little laws and regulations. We'll just tax it. Can't do anything about that.
All right, thank you, sir, for your comment.
Maybe.
All right, we'll start at the top now. Ken,
I'm gonna pass.
you're gonna pass. Okay, thank you. Rick?
Yes, sir.
I gotta put my glasses on. No wonder I can't see. Oh, yeah, look, it is the reason. Sir, he will give you 2 minutes, so.
Yes. Hello, thank you all for serving.
There you go.
Yes, thank you all for serving. We appreciate your protection here. I think I speak on behalf of my constituents here. My name is Rick Muriello. I've been here for 6 years, got 14 grandchildren. I'm not working for any electrical company or any water company, anything like that. So I'm just here because this is the nursery capital of the world. Love this place, love Warren County, love the people in Warren County. This is a unique city. It's the beauty of the city has to be protected. And I know that you're not going to stop progress. I get that. I know that's going to happen. I'm 72, so I've seen everything happen and how it's moved forward. But whatever we can do to protect the city and protect our kids and our grandkids, I think that's our concern because we could punch out this time anytime, you know. Anyway, the 25
MW facility. This is supposed to be completed in 2028. The footprint of this facility is 96,065 square feet. It's 4 acres. It's a 2-story facility. There's going to be a cause and effect for anything you do. It's like taking a rock and throwing it in the water. You get all kinds of mud from that. And so when this facility goes up, it's going to pack this county big time. So they're talking about 23 full-time employees that are going to be at this facility. That's really nothing. You've got 15 to 25 megawatts that this gentleman was talking about. That's huge. That's a big draw. There's going to be a power demand on the community. 24/7 this thing is going to go. The residents and local businesses will bear the financial burden of upgrading electrical substations and transmission lines to serve the facility. So our electric and water is going to be impacted on this. Air and noise pollution is gas power, but there's turbines that are going to be backed up. They're going to have 8 turbines on that facility that have to be taken care of. And like my constituent said, that cooling system that has to be supported. Oh, that's it.
2 minutes.
Well, I'm done.
You're done.
Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Thank you, sir. I want to let you know that what tomorrow's meeting is information like that, because you spoke on the project that is happening, and we can't do anything about it. So
What is the progression now? Because I got a thing saying that, we're going on the 9th for the city.
my understanding is the city meeting is tomorrow night.
Still,
The ninth is,
I work for the city. Tomorrow night's meeting is just for the moratorium vote on stop it for 18 months. The ninth is the regular scheduled meeting of the Board of Land Officers. It happens every month. They have 2 meetings, the second Tuesday and the fourth Tuesday. So that's, tomorrow night is a special call meeting for them. They're looking vote on the moratorium that is presented and public comments. There will be no more other business presented at that meeting.
We'll save it for the night.
No, you have to go tomorrow night. Anybody that wants to speak needs to go tomorrow night.
what time is it, Michael?
6 o'clock at the city hall, because they can't have it in the park theater because they're putting in new lighting and video and speakers in the park theater this week.
So for those of you that have comments like this gentleman and the man that just spoke, tomorrow night's where you need to be there to let the city know how you feel about this particular project that's being discussed now. 6 o'clock at City Hall tomorrow night, and they're gonna go ahead.
It'll be on the 2nd floor.
That's the old city bank, right?
Go ahead.
both meetings.
No, tomorrow night's meeting. Now, right now, the meeting on the 9th is still scheduled for the park theater. And I've not heard that being changed yet.
I would like to ask John Chisholm one more question. John, I've heard this gentleman said it, and I've heard other people mention it. And I've read that in Virginia, it's drove the cost up on the electrical, the customers 267%. Is there any truth to that?
Yes. Well, let me explain. Okay. A lot of what you read on data centers, especially Virginia, or in Texas, on for-profit utility. For-profit utility companies, they're again, like we work with Wendy on the industrial. So if a company comes in, if we've got a 3-phase line that's within the vicinity of that property, we have that in the contract that, when we provide service, if that company closes in a certain amount of time, they got to pay us for that infrastructure. Because we don't want to put that on our members' backs. But what happens in like Virginia, if you actually look it up, it's called Data Center Alley in Virginia. In Texas, you're going to see a lot of, or if you look it up, about 85% of their data centers are on for-profit electric companies. For-profit electric companies have to answer to their stakeholders.
So these people have got investments in there. So what you will notice for-profit companies, they will want these loads to come into their area because they can sell a large amount. Like I said, our Morrison substation is 22 megawatts. At its peak, we're running industrial load in our residential. So you can imagine the kind of money they're making off of it. But what a lot of them do, and I don't want to speak for them, knowing their whole operation, but Dominion Power is the one that does Virginia. What they will do is they will build that infrastructure to a large data center. But instead of upfronting that cost from the data center, they will put it back on their customer base, not their member base. So there again, that's the difference between a for-profit and a non. We can't make more than, as far as our profit goes, more than 3% off of our total sales. So that wouldn't be something where if we put a data center in, we would make them pay that up for a cost because we're not going to ship that to the membership like a for-profit.
I didn't realize that all electric companies weren't corporations like we have here in Warren County. I did not realize.
TVA is a public owned utility. They do not get federal money, but they operate more as an independent, but they're publicly owned. They're not privately owned. Dominion is privately owned by investors. So their whole goal is to make a return for their investors. So when you look up data centers making the claim or people making claims on rate going up, a lot of those are going to be in the for-profit area like Virginia, in the Dallas. Now there again, Texas is kind of its own little animal. It's got some co-ops, but it's got a lot of investor utilities. And most of those are going to be in Dallas, Houston, and Fort Worth. Austin, San Antonio, some of those got more of the co-op. So that the difference too is in your investor-owned utilities, they're going to build that infrastructure to gain that cost to get that number in there because at the end of the day, they want to pay that investor more on their return. We're a co-op, we're just trying to provide a service at the lowest cost we can do.
I appreciate that.
All right. Any other questions? They're not a co-op, they're a municipality, but they're served by a public power provider, which is TVA. So they're kind of regulated the same as we are. They're just called a municipality instead of a co-op.
That's why I hate went to TVA like a year ago.
They went to, there again, I don't know anything about that. We haven't been in any discussions.
No, he went to the gas company and he been low, but those are the two companies he talked to, because those are the two resources he's gonna require. No, because he's producing his own power, because they're producing their own power, so they can make the regulations that people are putting in place to block them. So now they just generate their own power. You can't put regulations in place to block them. As we were talking about earlier how they move so quickly, they're moving so quickly now so they can produce their own stuff. So they don't have to rely on the cities and ordinances they put in place. It's also not a 25 megawatt facility, it's gonna be a 30 megawatt facility. 25 is just the IT load, the supporting systems, it goes to a minimum of 30 to 33 megawatt per hour.
But would you not still gonna have to have permits and go through all that process?
Yes.
Well, if they're generating their own power, obviously they're using natural gas. You know how much cubic feet of natural gas you need to generate something?
The equivalent of 26,000 houses.
No.
Okay.
Now, just to answer the last question. Memphis Electric is a governmental link. It's all about it's operated through the city government. But they buy their power through public power. So they're kind of in the same position we are. The company that Hickson company never talked to us. The only reason why we were on that panel for discussion was we got a phone call asking us to come because there was some rumors that if Mount Memphis couldn't supply it, then Caney Fork would supply it. We can't supply anything inside the city of Memphis. It's not within our jurisdiction. So we were there just to kind of dispel any myths that we were involved in. So we hadn't had any discussions. Now, in talking in that panel discussion, what I heard was that they're not even, Matt Maples does not have the capability. It is not tying anything into them. Their whole turbine system runs on natural gas. So the electric companies, both the co-op and the muni, are not tied to them in any manner. So they were basically going to operate off of a natural gas turbine.
Okay, thank you, John. Clear that. All right, we'll go to the next one, Lilia Jensen. And, I like to welcome you because apparently you're my neighbor. Looking at your address.
Okay. So I'm gonna say, first of all, most of what I wrote is kind of moot point because you already put in the motion to have a vote. But I will say that I am a Warren County resident and I've only been here since 2021, but part of my background is I'm a project management and urban planning student. I finished my bachelor's this fall and then I started into my master's program and I've actually wrote a research paper about AI data centers and kind of clarifying some of the questions that you guys have asked about the Hickman project. I know that doesn't count for the county, but I will be forwarding that to you guys. It's also shared in the Facebook group that we started. But I want to encourage you guys to look at the BESS systems more, and especially the Moss Landing fire in California. That what happened there was kind of scary, and that's something that is not necessarily the same situation that could happen here, but it is something that they're using the same product, and that could happen in a larger scale. But also, I don't know for the county, because I haven't been able to get a hold of anyone to ask this question to. But at least for the city, they don't have capabilities to deal with hazmat. We already have to rely on a third party. If the county doesn't have that, we need a dedicated team to deal with anything regarding AI data centers. And that's a major concern because there's hazardous materials that are going everywhere. And also to clarify on the heat island effect, global satellite studies show that the heat produced from these AI data centers, and I'm not talking data centers, I'm talking AI data centers, because they are a little bit different. It's been studied that anywhere from 3 degrees Fahrenheit to 16.4 degrees Fahrenheit, up to 6-mile radius from the facility is a surface temperature change. So you're looking at an increase of 3 degrees to 16.4 degree increase in temperature of the surface area. Okay. I just wanted to.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for that information, very important, and send that email to us.
She's got a lot more to say. It's important. It's important. It's fine. Can you tell them to present your Facebook page?
Yeah, so it's Warren County, Tennessee against AI data centers.
Warren County, Tennessee, AI data centers.
Against AI data centers.
Thank you.
I would recommend that you go tomorrow night because you guys are very informative information.
I have to work tomorrow night, otherwise I would be there, but I know that there are plenty of people out there who have the information that I've shared.
This, dude with the pal here, I'd like to give him your information. He can.
Oh, I know Ben.
Okay.
I've been texting his wife all night.
And part
Yes.
of what she brought up about the hazardous materials and us trying to handle that, that's the way we're handling this at the fire marshal's office. So that's the avenue that we're going to on this more tomorrow.
Scott Kelly, do you have anything else to add?
No, I'm good, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Stacy Eller.
That's me. I don't need a microphone. The main thing that I wanted to propose tonight was instead of doing a 12-month or an 18-month moratorium, there's so much information that still needs to be covered and so many things that need to be researched and checked into before we allow all of this stuff to take place in our county or city or anywhere nearby us. I propose doing a 5-year moratorium. There are other places that are doing a 5-year moratorium that will give you plenty of time for all of us to do our homework to make sure that if something does come into our county or our city, we're ready for it. and we've covered all the bases to where later there won't be any regrets. That was my main proposal.
To add to that, when talking to Robert, he said those folks that were doing those long-term moratoriums have county-wide zoning, and we do not have that avenue. He said that was something we couldn't do. The 12 months was his recommendation, and we will have to work at it rather quickly, but I think it will get done.
If we can get the most time that we could get on moratoriums would be the best. I don't think that it's all gonna be researched, and I don't think we're gonna be ready in 12 to 18 months to have all these questions answered and to have everybody's fears satisfied.
Well, the resolution hasn't been wrote yet, but what ours was a recommendation. The county executive can talk with Robert and find out, and maybe we can get an extension, but that's something. Young lady, you got a question?
I do about the moratorium. Is it going to be written in such a way that, I know we don't cover Hickson specifically, but if the city prohibits Hickson from moving forward and they elect to move into a county location, will this moratorium stop Hickson? Are they gonna pull some sort of grandfathered in and you're targeting us separately?
They have no grandfather clause because they don't even have a permit.
That's all.
So they cannot be grandfathered in this case.
Okay.
And another thing, they've not announced their building outside the city limits back then. So that would be a change, is what that would be.
Yeah, there's no grandfather for that. Good question.
That was some of my concern.
All right, next, I'd say Donnie, I'm sorry.
That's fine. My handwriting. Hi there. So a lot of what I was gonna say is a little bit irrelevant now since you guys are going to vote on the moratorium and all. My name's Johnny Partno. I've lived in McMinnville for 6 years now. I plan to live here the rest of my life. So this is pretty important to me. I know that you guys are already, you've already said that, hey, the Hickson project is not applicable to, but I think that some of the numbers involved are potentially important in terms of figuring out some of your coding stuff going forward. The Bloom Energy cells that they're going to be using or that they plan to be using, those are natural gas fuel cells. I did some math the other day, and if they're using 25 megawatt from that comes out to about 4.5 million cubic feet of natural gas a day.
All right, folks, welcome back to the Warren County Sports Authority radio show, or not radio show anymore.
Whoa,
Just the
whoa.
Warren County Sports Authority.
Who do you
show.
work for now?
I appreciate that. Appreciate that. I am Jeff Simmons.
That's crazy.
I got Coach Sullins. I got Trevor Evans here. We've been joined by Coach. You want to introduce our guests?
We got two young ladies here that have a huge event coming up. Special guest of Gary Prater.
Yeah.
Prater's Barbecue, who is the presenting sponsor of our show. Is that correct?
Yes.
I'm right about that. We got Miss Stephanie and Miss Vicky here. They're going to tell us all about this upcoming cook-off that we're going to be a huge part of.
No, we're getting.
Oh.
There's still a meeting going on.
Oh, my bad.
Sorry, Walker.
Hey, that meeting, man,
It was over before it started.
that's about as bad the hours each other like you spent those nights. You know what I mean? Hey, we want to just talk to them a little bit, tell us a little bit about the second annual. Second annual. You can't say, second annual. Phyllis Prater cook-off. Jeff knows all about it. I think we got, 30 teams coming? What time does it start? What time does it start Saturday morning?
About 11.
11,
People start getting there around lunchtime.
goes all day.
Yep, goes all day. Judging's at 4 or 5, I think.
Can these
So-
judges be paid off? Because, I mean, you know what I mean? Are they pretty, out-of-town guys, we don't know them, pretty tight?
I don't think you can really get to them.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, they
I don't think-
keep it
We
pretty
got
safe.
security detail?
Yeah.
I don't think they can be.
If they
wrong.
could, I think Dylan would have already tried.
I think we've got a local team that's
Yes,
connected that we're really excited about. Is that correct? That's Dylan and Brad.
Sturgeon
Those guys.
Sportswear.
Sturgeon Sportswear. Could they be a sponsor of maybe a local newspaper or radio?
Yeah.
Might be a website. Yeah.
We'll look
Hey,
into
we've
that.
we'll have some, shirts,
Yes.
koozies, all of that
Yeah.
for
I like it.
Sturgeons on
Oh,
site.
Yeah, great.
woo. What else you got there, Chris?
Well, I would say that just go out there at Prater's Barbecue on Saturday, and then after this, June the 6th,
June the 6th.
this Saturday, we'll be out there, teams will be out there. And the one thing that I always wonder about is when it comes to steak and the cooking over here, Stephanie, Vicky, what would you say if y'all were the judges? What kind of steak you want, and what kind of cut, and what kind of cook do you want on it?
No blood.
No blood.
No blood?
You
Okay.
wouldn't, you wouldn't.
Can't be
wanna-
moving?
So y'all wouldn't.
No
You
moving?
wouldn't wanna ask us to judge this
Todd
steak.
says I like beef jerky.
So,
We like well done.
Oh, wow.
You
With
know,
lots of
people say that we ruin steak.
Lots of A1.
Yeah.
I'm guessing if my steak is in the cook-off and I throw A1 on it, the judge is probably thinking.
They're gonna frown on
They're gonna
that.
frown on
They're
that.
gonna frown on that.
We don't like the competition type, like, you know, but yeah, we've got some
We
great
like well
steaks,
done,
some really,
yeah.
some really good steaks.
Well, the good thing that and the good thing about that is with Prater's Barbecue is y'all will be on site doing steak sandwiches.
Yes.
Which is
Yes.
it's a little skirt steak and everything like
Yeah.
that. They're phenomenal. I had one last year.
Yes.
And you
And
can
all
get
of
out
our
there.
full menu inside, and they'll have a tent outside selling food.
Yeah. So I mean, again, too, it's not just that you can go to the steak cook-off and see the experts.
Yep.
I mean, they're coming from everywhere. And in
They
fact,
are.
I think there is a prize for the team
There
that comes
is.
from the
From
furthest away.
It says $1,000 for the
Yeah.
furthest.
And we were being told last week that there were teams that came through last year that dropped off, drove to New
Drove to New
York,
York,
come
came
back.
back.
on that.
Yeah.
So you're going to be able to see some of the experts out there. It's ribs, it's wings, and it's a hot dog competition.
So we have 5 in the hot dog competition so
Okay.
far. It's Millie George,
Okay,
Willow Deason,
okay.
Ellis, and Owen Prater,
Mhm.
and a little boy from Ohio.
So my question on that is does SGA provide the judges for that as well, or
Yes, and
Really?
hot dogs.
even a hot dog?
Hot dog.
I don't know if I'd have the palate of a judge. I just know that I'm hungry. I'm hungry. Yeah, I mean, well, I would think everything is great.
I know, it'd be hard to judge kids' hot dogs.
Yeah, but the biggest thing for this is it goes through and you can tell us a little bit about what this fundraiser, or what this ends up going to, and because I know that this is helping our community.
Mhm.
So the Phyllis Prater Memorial Scholarship Fund is the organization that'll get the money from everything made on Saturday. And this year, from last year's cook-off, we were able to give away $24,000 in scholarships in Warren County and Coffee County.
20,000 in Warren County,
For
Coffee County.
Coffee County. So all of the money goes back to the kids graduating at high school.
Yeah. So folks, if you want to get out there, make sure to come out there on Saturday. Order from anywhere you want to go. Go over there, see the professionals at work, see Dylan at work. We can call him a professional too.
Yeah, he is.
He's a
He's
pro. He's a pro. He's a pro. I think Coach Blue will be out there.
Yeah, Coach Blue.
We've already got the
Blue
invite
boys.
on that one.
Yes.
And the Blue, yeah, the band of Blue is going to be out there again too, and the Warren County Sports Authority will be also.
And
be out
Warren
there.
First.
And Warren First
Will be there.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're ready to go on that again too. I thank y'all so much
Yeah,
for
thank
coming
you.
and talking about it.
Thank you guys
again,
for
too.
having us.
Anything else you want to add
Yeah.
before you leave? Any stories that you want to talk about or anything
What-
like
which
that?
one?
Tell me.
Last year, we had some rain, you know, hopefully this
I
year
think
we'll
the
have
weather's
good
supposed to be
weather.
pretty good.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
hopefully that won't be something that will have Gary. upset.
Bring your kids. We have popcorn,
Yes.
snow cones.
Yeah.
Lexi Thomas will be doing hair braids and hair tinsels, and we'll
Airbrush
be doing
tattoos.
airbrush tattoos.
Yeah.
Yep.
We have a big, we
Tatted up, Coach.
have a big jumping balloon. So
We
lots
have
of
a beer
things for the
cave.
kids.
A beer shed, a beer shed.
Trail, tattoos check, beer
That's not
cake
for
check.
kids.
That's not for kids.
That's not one. That one's
No,
not for
that's
kids.
not for
And a
kids,
dessert
but
competition.
A dessert competition,
Oh.
and we really don't know.
Big
that.
fella's happy
Oh,
about it.
you know I love that. I love
You
that.
got it covered.
It has, some of the people have been confused and kind of worried because the dessert has to be made on site.
Oh.
So,
That's what we were
you know,
told.
cakes and things like that's kind of hard, but we'll see what kind of desserts they bring out.
Hey, ribs.
Is it too late to enter?
Steak good, ribs good.
I asked that question to the guy that's over it all today because I've had some people ask me about that. For the kids, I have been able to email him and he's been able to get them on the list. Dessert, he doesn't have to provide anything, so I'm assuming we can sign up there
Okay.
if anybody wants to.
Yeah. Well, I did have one last question that I had to ask Stephanie. What's the wing competition done to Todd's appetite when it comes to wings? 'Cause I don't think I was
Has he
told.
recovered
Has he?
yet?
Has he yet? Has he? He said he's retiring the champ.
We have had a lot more wings on hand at Prater's because Todd has stopped eating them.
He saved Gary a lot of money.
Been saving Gary a lot of money. He's only ate one smoked wing since the wing eating competition. And he did have some at Smooth Rapids the other night, and I was a little surprised, but he said they're not smoked. And they're small, you know, so he's okay with eating them. But yeah, Todd does not want to talk about smoked wings.
One wing. And I would be remiss, Vicky, if I didn't ask a little bit about Lane's softball career. Saw him out there this last week playing Thursday. What's going on here?
You know, I can't say much about Saturday because I don't think they did very well, but,
Oh, okay.
he's having fun and he's playing right now, so.
Oh, okay.
I think they got beat pretty bad this past weekend, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that was confirmation off the camera.
Yeah, I had to
Still the best
confirm
one.
that, but, he is having fun.
Yeah.
You know, he's still playing ball. It's
Yeah.
not the same, but.
Yeah, well, we all know that. We all know that Saturday softball is for the 40-year-olds. He's got a long way to go.
20 more years to go.
Yeah, to gain expert status on that.
Yeah.
But again, folks, if you want to go out and help the community, help the scholarship fund, Phyllis Prater Memorial State Cook-Off, second annual will be this Saturday at Prater's Barbecue, starting at around 10 a.m. But you can go eat all day over there again too. Get those steak sandwiches. Go out there, bring the kids. They'll have plenty of things there. But Stephanie, Vicky, thank y'all so much for
Thank
coming
you,
in.
guys.
We don't want to hold y'all any longer than y'all have.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Well, folks, we're going to let them step away, but we're going to get ready to go into the show. And I guess the one thing that we have to do is one thing that we have to start with on this is, guys, let's take a breath here. We started with Krebs Kubota and we started with seeing the future, and we were talking about this meeting, this important meeting that the county was going to have. And snooze fest? Whoop! I don't know. I mean, I started thinking about what we just watched, and I can't be the only person. And I hope Ben Loman Connect Message Board lights up on more of this. Is I starting to understand why county government kind of works at a snail's pace. After watching some of what happened, and I think we turned an hour-long meeting, a 5-minute meeting, into an hour-long, gripe session in some aspects.
My bad. We got 2 hours in this. Remember, we cut off the meeting. This meeting is still actually taking place. That being said, you're exactly right when it comes, and I will give credit to a lot of people that are involved in county government, because tonight's meetings are one of the reasons I would never want to do this, because you could have, I think everybody in this room, and I think 90% of the people that are in that room knew that a moratorium was coming.
Yep.
Correct?
Yeah.
We could have did that.
Yep.
In about 32 seconds. All in favor say aye. And then Gary Prater basically do what he does best, which he wasn't on the committee. He's not on this committee.
Right.
But just pull the Gary Prater card since he sponsors the show. And that's why he and I and a lot of us get along so well. You just motion to adjourn and we're out of here.
It was
That
5-0, it was a 5-0 vote,
Yep.
because they finally put it to a vote, they put a 12-month moratorium. Someone in the crowd actually asked for a 5-year. This was.
They proposed it.
They proposed it from the crowd, which was, I mean, that was a bold move on their part.
Bold move, Cotton.
I'm just sitting there thinking, like, I mean, we had Keith Vaughn in the comment section, been on the Connect message board, saying something about, like, can I get 6? But we started
I think we should have auctioned off a year.
Yeah.
Yes.
6, 6, 7, somebody gets in there. Let's go down.
The more that I looked at it, I was just like, we had 5 minutes. There was 20 people that wanted to comment on this, and everybody was going to say the exact same thing. And then we had, Ranger Rick from the back of the room comes up and basically gets to talk for 20 minutes about why data centers are terrible. And hey, look, he gave us some really good information, but at the end of the day, I'm like, I don't think we needed any more than what we were already going to get. The moratorium was pretty much locked in. Now it's going to go, and now it goes to the full board.
And I want to apologize to Ranger Rick. We didn't know his name because he wasn't on the agenda.
Yeah.
Remember? I mean, county government was supposed to somehow, some way stick to rules, policies, regulations, and we decided to Ranger Rick, hey, he knows a lot, bring him on up, and he's starting to answer questions.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this. I'm going to give a shout out to somebody who I can't believe just did that. They put Wendy Sneed in a tough spot tonight.
Yeah.
You're asking her to come up and answer questions, and she's already told you.
Yeah.
She said it. I mean,
Not been discussed, not been presented to the IDB. She's not advocating. She's not opposing.
so why do you bring her up and keep asking questions when she's not? It's not that she's not prepared, but she's not prepared because that's not what she's been doing.
The last I checked, it was not Snead Data Center. I don't think it was IDB Data Center. It was Hickson Data Center. They looked to see if Hicksons were in the room. I think they had some kind of scheduling conflict. They couldn't go. But at the same time, I don't think it would have mattered. I think that, I mean, if the Hickson Data Center guys come in there, that much moratorium, I think, is still happening.
Yes, for sure.
At the end of the
That moratorium's happening no matter who walks in that room tonight.
Yeah. So
Let's be honest, it's election season, boys.
Surviving the
It's about shaking hands and kissing babies. We're not talking about data centers.
No.
The local front door, okay?
Yeah, well, hey, what we are going to talk about is who's buying, who's selling this week. So let's talk about making the right investment off the field. The buyer segment is brought to you by Daryl Cook with First Mortgage. Buying and financing can feel overwhelming if you don't know what to expect, but when you have someone walking you through every step, it gets a whole lot easier. Daryl and his team at First Mortgage take pride in helping folks from Middle Tennessee feel confident in their decisions, whether you're buying your first home or making your next move. If you're ready to get started, give Daryl a call at 931-743-5563 or shoot him an email at dcook@fnbmt.com. That's Daryl Cook, NMLS number 2359079 with First Mortgage.
Where does Daryl work?
First Mortgage, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Is that maybe an extension of First National?
Yeah, a little bit. I think they might be in the same branch.
We show up.
We show up.
Maybe a little precursor.
We might get somewhere with that
Thank you,
again
Daryl.
too. Well, let's be easy. This is the easiest buy or sell that I'm going to give y'all. I think this is going to be an easy answer. I'll ask Trev first. Do we have a data center in Warren County by 2028?
Yes.
Yes. Oh, wow. So you're buying?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, what a swerve.
Hey,
You said in Warren County? I said, yeah.
Okay, you think so?
What a swerve.
Hey, Trail, views just went up. We need security.
Well, I'm sitting here thinking
Hey, somebody's already showed up at my house. It's all right.
it's July 2026 or June 2026.
Yeah,
So just
you
put a
were
12 moratorium on this, and you still think we're good to go Q1
Well, Ask
2028?
the same question tomorrow. The city's meeting tomorrow, and it's proposed in the city. So.
Oh,
Oh.
Trail.
You do know that
Boy.
the city still exists in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
county, right?
I'm just saying.
He says, okay, he says buy.
Buy or sell.
I'm selling that bad boy 3 times
I just think
tonight. No way. Shape, form, or fashion.
the things that we did play a little bit of county commission bingo tonight.
Yes.
Heard a little bit about county zoning.
Those on
What
Check.
Terry Bell says we don't have that.
Yep.
Heard a little bit about the County Powers Act.
Yep.
He said we ain't got that. What we do apparently have is a fire marshal. Raise your hand at this table if you knew who the fire marshal was before tonight.
I ain't buying that.
Because apparently Cole Miller is he's the most powerful man when it comes to stopping data
Right
centers.
now.
He
Cole Miller said, you know what?
He came
Not
in and
in my,
said,
not in my house.
yeah. In fact, we said in the comment section as he said it, he was talking about there's a gray area when it comes to defining data centers. He even said that even one of our great sponsors, Ben Lomond Connect,
It's a small data center.
could theoretically be discussed as a data center. And he said because of that, there's going to be a little bit of he said that because of the fire marshal and fire codes and all the things that are going on there, that they did that they could pass a moratorium because they're still being written into law, it seems like, and written into codes. So congrats, Cole Miller.
Ben Lomond is a sponsor of our show and a pillar of our community, correct?
Mhm.
Let me go out on a limb and say this, and in the views and opinions expressed are mine, Jim's and Trevor's.
Yep.
Yeah. When Ben Lomond did not want Cole Miller to say, hey, that's a data
They
center.
could be construed as a data.
I mean,
No.
No, I'll guarantee you somebody from Ben Lomond will make a call to Cole Miller saying, don't say that again. Don't say that again.
Yeah, he said that the rules are, I think his exact thing that he said was the codes do not define what a data center is currently.
That being said, what I'm saying is when you're in that room.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, hey, that word bingo.
Everybody's on the edge.
Yeah, that word bingo.
Yeah.
You hear data center, you
Yeah,
say,
whoa,
Easy.
easy.
That's not us.
Step back on that now.
So I think I'm with Sullins. I think I would sell on this one. That I don't think it's 2028, but I will say this much: that the more that I hear that talk and the things that are going on here, there's going to be industries and stuff like because this is the second year in a row that we've had some sort of this question that the county. And this is county commissioners, and we'll get to this in another segment as well because I think it's on the next one on the agenda. Actually, this is the second year in a row that you've kind of been put into a box of. Are you going to let individuals in this county decide what to do with their property, or are you going to get closer and closer to one thing that the county's always said they don't want? County zoning. Because unless you're going to do the zoning, or unless you want to do the County Powers Act. One of the two things you've loosely figured out a way to get a moratorium through a fire marshal code, and that was basically exactly what Terry Bell said. We got 3 avenues to this one. The first 2 we haven't enacted, so we might as well use the third one to do it. You got it. What are you going to do? Or when's it going to be a situation where you're going to start making answers, or you're going to try to define these off of every single decision? Because at some point, if you decide next year to enact a county powers to stop data centers, those rock quarry people are going to come back and say, where were you at last year?
Where were you at when we needed you?
Yeah. Oh, now the NIMBY, not my backyard, just apply because you thought, oh, now anybody's backyard can become a data center. In fact, we talked about that. That might be something that happens before we're all said and done here. Now, I'll sell that when it comes to it, but I don't think that this is over. I don't think this conversation is over.
No.
We just put it on the clock that June 3rd, 2027, we're back on. On that one. Would you agree?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I hear applause going in there, so I'm assuming someone just said that they don't like data centers.
Gary commented.
The easiest out for you. Where's the girls? This is a very germane situation. The Germans have nothing to do with this. Stuck in the bag. All right, let's shoot into the next. Let's go into the next one, and that will be Take Your Medicine. Take Your Medicine is presented by Spencer Drug Company. And again, too, if you're tired of being treated like just another number at a big chain pharmacy, it's time to make the short drive to Spencer Drug Company. At Spencer Drug, you're not just a customer, you are family, and it's not a slogan, it's how they do business every single day. Need a prescriptions filled fast, they got you covered. If you need answers about your medication, they're out here to help. Spearheaded by Rhonda Barnes, Beth Kirby, and their great team, they make it easy and convenient to take care of your health. And here's the best part. It's with hometown service you can't get anywhere else. So whether you're in Sparta, McMinnville, Spencer, or anywhere nearby, take the drive and see the difference yourself. Spencer Drug Company, where service still matters. 120 College Street, 931-946-7900. Is it over?
I think it's over.
It's over. That was what the applause was for.
Yes.
Okay, now
Cole Taylor was there. Cole Taylor got $8. Yeah.
All right, well, hey, let's go into take your medicine. I think this is one you just brought up.
Yeah.
2026 candidates. If you're on the ballot right now, I think you might want to be able to try to take some chill pills because your phone's not gonna stop ringing. Yeah, we'll get there too.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, I mean, if you are a 2026 candidate, we know you aren't. We know you're not.
Yes.
But if you've talked to these guys, you've talked to so many people in the last 24, 48 hours, what has this done with the moratorium?
Well, what it's did is it's gave us a little grace.
Yep.
In this aspect. Because as a candidate, let's be honest, we can read the room.
Yeah.
If this is on, if we do a poll,
Yeah.
what do you want a data center in Warren County, McMinnville? That poll is going to be 80-20, 90-10. It's not a very popular topic right now. That being said, this is something that they don't have to tackle right now. It's 12 months. Hey, I can breathe a sigh of relief. I can wear my t-shirt out in public, and I can say, hey, I was involved in the 12-month moratorium.
Yep.
I was one that I was all for that, and it allowed us to get on or move on to topics that maybe would allow this not to happen in the next 24 months. I mean, because like you say, 12 months goes by pretty quick.
Yeah.
This is coming back up. I think that there's a lot of county commissioners right now that are incumbents.
Yep.
That are very, very pleased that they're not having to answer this question.
Oh, I would say that's 100%. And I think because right now we said it, you said something, and we've talked about it a couple of times on this. It's how the question is being framed.
Yes.
Right now is easy to answer because, like you just said, saying I don't want a data center in Warren County is going to be easy. What happens when they start asking the real question is, when are you going to tell me how I can use my property?
Well,
is going to be the question that is morphs out of this.
Not only that, we've got to find out where Sean, and we never get a last name. We got to find out where Sean.
Yeah, Sean.
We got to get Sean on the show for this reason.
Yeah.
Sean brought up a great question or a great point that I think somehow, some way. Hey, if we go find Sean, hey, echo to Sean. You know, back signal to Sean. You know what I mean? But Sean brings up this.
Yeah.
Hey, Sean says, hey, this is coming. Sean's like Trev. Trev's a new generation guy.
Yeah.
You know, Trev said that he's not that Trev is saying not in our backyard, but Trev says everybody's using data. We're all using it. Hey, this is how the world works. You've got to have some kind of center to make it work.
You're watching it through here.
You're watching it
here. Where you're using phones. You're using it.
Sean brings up this. Hey, you say we're bringing in what $2.6 million is what the Hicksons brought up yesterday on Kelly's on the forum that was brought out. Sean says, hey, Charles from 10 to 12.
He said move that decimal over.
Move that decimal.
He said let's make it 26.
My question would be this to a county commissioner if they're in my district. What would be the price that it would be okay?
Yeah.
If you're going to say, hey, I'm not going to allow that at $2 million. Well, everybody's got a dollar amount. What happens if if a project comes in and they say, we'll pay you $20 million in property taxes or $30 million? And I know people are saying, well, that's not going to happen. When it comes to data and the uses that everybody has for it, those are drops in the bucket.
Yeah. Well, because the one thing that they do see in Warren County is you got land. That's what we're looking for. I mean, that's what they're ended up looking for. Keith Vaughn in the Bill on the message board, data tax like liquor and keep them 200 feet from a church. Well, hey, I know it's not just churches they want to keep. They want to keep it away from everything, just like adult entertainment is what was said.
Like on the bingo card, we had data center, strip club.
Yeah.
We put them together.
I mean, data center would have been the center one where you were just like, you get that one for free.
Yeah.
I don't think that that would have been like 072. I mean, that was adult entertainment. Did not really think we were going to be doing that. Now, that being said, it did generate a very good conversation in here about what these data centers were going to be named potentially. But no, I think I think that's going to end up being your situation. They'll end up trying probably to pass not zoning, but zoning, to say you can't be within 1,000 feet of literally anything, probably, and then try to put that on there. But I think Sean had the point was, if they're coming, then make money off of it. And I think that's going to be something that we're going to continue to see. Trev, any more big thoughts on this topic?
No, man, I'm just here so I don't get fined.
All right, well, I'll at least let you to cue this one up. Trev, take your medicine. That was Spencer Drug County. Now avoiding disaster. Adam Wood.
Hey, that's brought to us by Adam Wood out there in Morrison, Farm Bureau Insurance. Stop in and see him at 6282 Manchester Highway. You can't get out there, call him at 931-668-7075. Once again, that's 931-668-7075. He does it all: home, auto, life, business insurance, whatever you need. I don't know about that. Whatever you need, call him. We'll get you an answer.
All right. Well, first thing that we're going to do to avoid disaster is we're going to do our show on Wednesdays. On that, moving this one to tonight. We really thought, okay, well, we had a big city meeting. Well, if we go with the city meeting is going to happen. Now we just saw it.
Hey, plan to watch the city meeting.
Yeah.
Minus 30 million. We got a moratorium coming tomorrow night, boys.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, again, too, we're going to say that's one avoiding disaster. Two, if you're a business or you're an official or anybody right now, and you start hearing the numbers that we heard thrown out on Warren First Q&A yesterday, 12 months ago, 14 months ago, how much are you avoiding disaster right now to try to distance yourself from the idea that you kind of already knew this was happening, but all of a sudden, everybody in the community, because everybody in the community has probably figured this out in what, the last week?
Yeah,
Week and a half? 5 days? Hit some chatter, it hit the first.
The chatter, boys.
James is writing about it here on the Warren County Way, thewarrencountyway.com, where everything is free. But again, too, one disaster is, there are some people that we started hearing 12 to 14 months ago. You knew about it.
Yeah.
Now, I'll say this, like if you're MES, you want every bit of that news to be out there as much as possible, because MES's message was basically, we don't want you, we're not helping you, you'll figure it out yourself. But there are some other ones that I think people are going to say, how much were you involved in trying to help this happen?
Because, we talked about it many times already tonight. When we talk about data, you've got to have some way to make, you got to have some way to make it work. It's just that simple. How are you going to make it work?
We're all using it.
We're all using it. But in the community right now, data center is, in relation to a country, data center and Iran go hand in hand. Okay, I mean they're just not favorable words.
No.
And when you get hooked to that as a business or an entity or a public official, those are things that stick with you, and at some point in time can cause you trouble. Because it's hard, you know as well as I do, it's hard to get away from.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not just the words data centers, those two little letters that are thrown out in front of it a lot. AI,
yes,
data center, and people don't, I guess everybody grew up watching Terminator and decided that Skynet was going to get all of us, so, I mean, be nice to your chat. I mean, again, too, you're right. I mean, you can't get away from that stigma. And I think a lot of what you're saying is, when we talk about the moratorium, is you don't have to even put yourself out in the limb if the moratorium happens. And then all of a sudden, we'll deal with that in 2027. And guess where we're not going to be in 2027? In this administrative building for an election.
Yeah.
Maybe in 2028. Maybe in 2 months in August. But we're not going to be there in a year. So out of sight, out of mind. That's not a bad move on people's parts.
I just, when you're, and I'm going to bring it up a little bit later, but with what Kelly did, it was supreme. And you got to give all those people credit.
Including the Hicksons.
You got to give the Hicksons, and I know that's not going to be popular, but they stood in and fire was coming.
Yep.
But that was a very informative meeting. And I will give the Hicksons credit in this aspect. For every question that they got asked, they answered. Now, some of those answers were probably answers that certain entities did not want to come out.
Yeah.
And
I don't disagree with that.
And that being said, once they get out and it starts making its way, because as Kelly and I talked a little bit yesterday afternoon when we were talking about what we're gonna do this show, that video, it still exists. So anybody can go watch it. And once it starts being shared, did you hear what was said here? Those can cause some really tough play.
I mean, we put the Warren County Way, we put a story out about what happened in the Q&A with the Warren County Way. For free.
You just click.
Yeah, just click and it takes you right to the story. It's not gonna say, hey, we sent you an email verification code or this, that, the other, or you're not signed in. You just get to read it immediately.
Well, and I'm gonna be honest, I did go back and look and I tried to find the number lower than 0 and I just couldn't.
Well, really?
Yeah, like 70 to 60.
It's still not.
It's still not been like 40 to 50 or 20, 0.
Still not got to 0 yet.
Last time I checked, any number you multiply times 0 equals 0. Thank you.
I appreciate that. Yeah. Again, last thing that I'll say, if you want to see the full video, go to Warren first. Watch it all, because I see a lot of people that were commenting on our post. It was like, well, what about this, this, and this? I'm like, watch the full video for yourself. I mean, if you're really that interested in it, I think there are people out there that are definitely that interested in it. Ray and Alex Hickson sit there, and then again too, I want to point this out because you said this. Ray and Alex Hickson, in my estimation, and look, I'm just watching off the video. And I feel like and they've been in the parties. They're just two people that saw an opportunity in this community to open up a business that 4,000 other people in the United States have probably done over the last couple of years. And they just said, hey, I'm from Warren County, we'll do it. And also, we're people from Warren County, so we'll do it the right way that takes care of Warren County. I hate that business. I mean, that business proposal when that is. And I know people will say, well, what if it was in your backyard? It's not that far away from where I live. Pretty close. It's really not. So, I mean, I get it what you're saying, and if the counties goes for it, that's fine. But the one that as we went back to saying this, we actually asked this before the show started, is if you had a commissioner in that room, what were the questions you wanted? The questions I want to know is, when it comes to property, is how much are we going to restrict how people can operate on that one? So I think we'll know more in a month.
Let's go back to buy and sell just for a minute then. Okay. 2027, when this comes back up, 12 months gone by, we don't have an election.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have zoning?
I think we have
zoning coming in the next 12 months.
I would sell the zone. I sell with the idea that we'll have zoning. We'll just continue to do the thing that is zoning that we don't call zoning, which is we'll make this so restrictive when it comes to your industry that we'll zone you out of Warren County without calling it. We have to call it zoning. Because I mean, like I said, we go back to the strip club, the adult entertainment thing. It can't be within 1,000 feet of a blade of grass. And it's all of a sudden like, well, you can't operate in Warren County. There's not 1,000 feet worth of a mile worth of dirt everywhere. So it won't matter. Yeah, I think that's what you'll end up seeing. No, I don't think there'll be zoning, but there'll be zoning. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get it. I'll go with that.
All right, well, guys, let's get off the zoning topic and give the people what they want when they come to the Warren County Sports Authority. And that's a little bit of local talk, a little bit of local sports, a little bit of local jazz. And one thing that before we get into that is, Solons, you got a pretty big announcement that we want to let everybody know, because we got a pretty big sponsor that's going to be coming on with the Warren County Sports Authority, with broadcasting with the UCR in the fall, but also on the Warren County Way starting this week. Go ahead.
There was a slogan that's kind of made its way around for the last 12 to 24 months, I believe.
Yep.
First National Bank talks about we show up.
Yep.
And the department with First National Bank is First West. I think we all would agree here with us three. We had a meeting last week, and we asked. They actually asked us to come and meet. First Wealth was Scott, Shannon, and Ethan. They asked us to come and talk a little bit about what our vision was. And as we were talking, Scott, who's kind of I would say he's the chief executive in that, and we had talked to Peter a little bit too, the First National Bank president. And they actually said, hey, let's cut to the chase. What do you guys want to do?
Yeah.
And I remember saying, we would like somehow, some way to put something together in our community where all our sports teams are covered from opening tip or opening kickoff to the last strike of the season. And we would also want, because we've heard our people say, we want to be able to read our news for free if it's online.
Yep.
We made a proposal. They showed up. First National Bank and First Wealth, both of those organizations will now be the primary sponsors of the Warren County Sports Authority when it's on UCR. They also are allowing you as readers and listeners to make that click that we've talked about. They were one of the first ones that said, hey, we understand what you want, we understand your need, and we will show up for this community as they always do.
Yeah.
They're one of the biggest reasons right now that you can read this for free. To Peter, to Scott, to Ethan, to Shannon, to all the First National Bank employees, I want to say thank you.
Absolutely.
Because without you, along with all our other sponsors, this would not be possible.
Yep.
They're going to be the presenting sponsor of Pioneer Athletics.
Yep.
From opening kickoff to opening tip.
Yep.
On flag football.
First pitch.
They're the two organizations that have stepped up. What I would ask of this community is understand who showed up and allowed that to happen. One thing, and Peter wanted me to read this tonight. This is exactly from Peter Van Buren, the president of First National Bank. We're looking forward to working with the Warren County Way and the Warren County Sports Authority to bring extended boys and girls sports coverage to anyone and everyone that wants to follow the Pioneers and Lady Pioneers. This community supports their teams like no other community, and we feel like making coverage better for our fans is something we can financially help with. Showing up for our communities is important to us. Now I'm going to tell you a personal story when it comes to First National Bank. Okay? In 1978, my father started a business, and Charles Chico Jacobs showed up for my father. Now, their tagline wouldn't, they showed up.
Yeah, but they did.
But they showed up.
Yep.
And from that time up forward, they have been the bank of choice for my family and many others in this community. They cover this county, this city, and when we say they show up each and every day. For the past 5 decades, I want to say thank you. Now, what they've allowed me to do is when they allowed my father to go out and buy equipment when he was 23 years old, and he had a 5-year-old kid, and paramedic was on strike and he needed work, they've allowed me to do the same thing with my son. Because if you go look at the Warren County Way, my son helped develop the website. To all those people at First National Bank, thank you. Will never do what you did justice for us and for everybody else. Thank you, and we hope, and you have my word, we're going to do as much as we possibly can to promote you the way that you have stepped up for us.
Yep.
You guys got anything?
I will say that again too. Solon's kind of I've heard a little bit of what he said just now about but again, at the end of the day, this is about showing up. This is about this community, and this is about people that are wanting to provide for this community in a way that in some aspects it's just never been done like this before. And it's going to be done in a way that we're able to work with people with First National Bank, First Mortgage, which is a part of First National Bank, in a way that's going to let us open up and do some things that we've never been able to do before. And it's helped our relationships with Kelly, with Warren First, with what UCR is going to be able to do. This is the mission. And I say this a lot to our basketball team when I coach. You have to understand the mission. First National understands the mission that they have themselves, but they also, I think they understood the mission that we were trying to accomplish. And to be honest, they were a big springboard of getting us into the situation where we've been able to launch so quickly.
Yeah, that was the big thing from that meeting that we had last week with Ethan and Shannon and Scott was we really didn't know what we were going to talk about and exactly how that was going to go when we sat down. But as we got deeper and further into the meeting and conversations, both sides kind of understood, hey, our goals and what we want out of this align. So let's do it the right way, and let's be the first and the best to do these kind of things. So I think that's where it came about.
Another huge shout out would be to Ann Vance.
Yes.
We've asked her many things over the last couple of weeks, or last 5 to 7 days. She's went out of her way. And you're just going, when it comes to the Warren County Way and the Warren County Sports Authority and what we're trying to do, First National and First Wealth are going to be a big part of that. Not only today, tomorrow, we hope for many, many years to come. We're going to do our part, and we know they're going to show up for us.
Yes, absolutely. And again, too, the one of the things that they're doing is helping us get through and get our website together and things like that. But if you want to be a part of Warren County Way and want to be an advertiser on that one, talk to Trev. Give myself
Hey, call me. Hey, if you want to be involved in the new and the hottest thing in Warren County with sports, with news, we're gonna cover everything. We announced James, Jeff. Got a couple more that we'll announce shortly.
I think we're going to do one announce one tonight. I mean, she's up on the website.
Oh, okay then.
I mean, we're announcing it. We gave a couple hints a couple weeks ago. You know, we said Kelly was going to we were going to bring a female onto this mix. And seeing Kelly's got it's got me into this more than Jeff. Okay, in this aspect, you start doing all this analytical stuff. You know, the Facebook and I looked and I seen who our followers were, and about 60-something% are females.
Yep.
And I'm looking around going, Trev don't know anything about a female. I don't know. Trev doesn't. We got to find a female.
Yeah.
Lisa Hobbs is coming on board. Lisa Hobbs will be with us next week. She will be the news editor for the Warren County Way. We're excited to have her. One thing that I will say about Lisa, when you bring Jeff's name out, he's a sports guy.
Yep.
James kind of like me. A lot of people love him. A lot of people, I've talked to one this morning. Maybe not the biggest fan, but James understands that. Anytime you mention Lisa's name, it was kind of like Kelly and Warren. There's a positivity. Mm-hmm. Stephen Helton, you saw it. Stephen Helton comes out and says, who's going to do the news? Because Jeff can't do it all. And James not going to do it all. I said, we've hired Lisa. And Stephen said, great move. So, hey, to all our female followers, we've got one of you. You're represented now. We thank her for coming on board, and we can't wait for her to get started.
Yeah. And if you want to come on board, give one of us a call. We'll get you hooked up with an ad.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and if you want to know what the Warren County Way can do, I'll tell you right now. If you're sitting there thinking, man, Jeff kind of seems zoned out right now, it's just because we just posted the story.
The
story's posted. James Clark has already got that written up, so you can go and read. If you weren't here early, you didn't see everything that was said about the Economic and Agriculture Committee meeting tonight. It is now up on the Warren County Way. You can read about that right now. So again, big news, continue to be big news. We're going to have some more people that we're going to be able to announce. Be looking on the Warren County Way Facebook page on the website for more announcements about who the sponsors are going to be in, because we got a few more that are going there, including sponsors that we have already here on the Warren County Sports Authority, and one of those is Chris Springs Fireworks. And hey, look, it is in full firework mode right now. There will be a new tent location this season in Morrison. It's going to be at the Shell Station over at the train tracks. There'll also be in Eagleville, where the tent will be the fundraiser for the Eagleville football team. And of course, there's always year-round stores open at 37 Chris Springs Road. It's open now, so if you're looking for the best selection, shop early. You want the big boom?
Gotta get there early.
Gotta get there early. 37 Chris Springs
Gotta
Road.
get
That, again, that is Chris Springs Fireworks sponsor of the last week. Rewind. Sullins over the last week. Again, Hutton came in last week.
Oh,
big time move for us to get Hutton to come over.
You
and
take Hutton out Prager's, man. He kind of steals the spotlight.
Yeah,
he's
absolutely.
just sitting over in the corner and then just takes snapping pictures.
Yeah. Well, I'll say this: you and I have been in constant contact with him since then. How much has Hutton continued to guide the way, and what was the reception that you've heard from in the community about having Hutton on the story? Because in a lot of aspects, what we're doing right now is a lot of he has a lot of input in it.
Jonathan Hutton is a lot like, well, he's a lot like the people in this room in this aspect. He still cares about his hometown.
Yes.
How many times has he reached out this week?
Oh,
congratulations! He's texting. How is this going?
He was trying to get the password last
Absolutely.
night. He wanted to
He
know.
wanted to be one of the
He
first
wanted to know the way.
Well, I already know the password.
He sent us the screenshot where it said, "Do you know the way?" Password. And he said, what is it?
Here's the funny part of that. Hutton says, "Do you have the password?" I said, "I called Jim. I don't have it." Like,
Yeah, I
the
messaged him
owner
back and
of it, man.
said, I don't know it. That's London. But it's all London on that one.
But like, nothing but positive. And then Hutton, I'm a Warren County guy. He is, but he's branched. We all have roots. He's branched out in ways that I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
You know, when he's talking about how Nashville works with the Super Bowl, and he's talking about chartering flights with pro football teams.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just in awe of the stories, and he is. Let's be honest, he's as good a storyteller.
Oh my goodness.
When it comes to details and information,
Yeah.
I am glad you stayed away from the Pac-Man story.
Yeah.
You didn't need to reel that. You didn't need to put that on the
You
reel.
gotta be careful.
Be careful with that one. But he had a great time and nothing but positive response.
Yep. Again, too, another thing that's happened over the last week, and we've talked about it, so we don't have to get about it, but the launching of the Warren County Way, you had some statements out there. Again, too, people already know it's free. It is free. You can read it right now, and you can go click on the county committee's okay on the moratorium story that we were just talking about. But did you realize how much it was going to blow up your phone? Because I don't know how much work you've gotten done over. I mean, if I called Sullins Transport right now, would they say that you got a lot of work done?
Honestly,
yeah,
they're probably going to say he's done absolutely nothing except look at his phone for 2 days. That being said, I did get up pretty early this morning.
Same.
I knew today was a big day.
Yeah.
He knew today was a big day.
But
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Well, not only that, when you say your phone's blowing up, the discussions that we're having with joint ventures that I'm going to talk about with our rants, this has been nothing but, 99% of there's been positive feedback.
Yes.
There's a lot of people in this community that in the county, I'll be honest, a lot of surrounding counties as well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they kind of want to know what's going on.
They know the way.
They know the way, but when you're talking to people, they want what we and Kelly with Warren First and others are trying to give them. There's a non-biased that we have some fun with it.
Yeah.
But they're seeing this is the way that they want to not only get their news but stay connected in a lot of ways in this community. So a shout out to all the people that have reached out and we're doing our best to make sure that we get back to you.
Yep. Trev, what have you heard?
And
over
a
the last week,
lot
man?
of the same things, people asking a lot of questions about advertising. So those kind of things. And then, Sullins' Everett Grant last week when he said it was free,
I got a little overboard.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I look back. You ever look back at the video and you're like, man, that was
a little too much.
Yeah, a little too much.
That's all right. He did well. He
Yeah.
did a good number.
I was like, we had a visitor here, and I went just totally off the wall.
And he loved it.
Yeah.
Last time I looked, I think there was like 15,000 views on it.
23,000.
I was just so I didn't wake up early enough today. Gotta get up pretty early. The sunshine past that rooster.
Yeah.
Come on now.
No, just a great outpouring of support over the last week and a little bit beyond that.
Well, let's say this too. Does it feel like because of the rain canceled out a lot of the games that we were going to play around the city, around Morrison, around Centertown, around Midway, places that you can read about if you go to the Warren County Way right now. We got stories on Midway, Centertown. I'll have one up on Morrison for the end of the week. Well, I will say this much. It does feel like in the last week we've hit a sports doldrum.
Yeah.
locally.
Yeah.
Locally a little bit.
And you've talked about this.
Yeah.
For the last 2 years since we've been doing this. I mean, when you get in the summer, there's still leagues and those type of things going on, but if you have any weather, it can wash you out pretty quick. Has that helped you in some areas of allowing you to do some other things?
Not even.
Okay.
No, because I mean,
pretty busy.
Well, it's not just that. It's the fact that I think that there's always sports stories to be found, even if there are days when it's raining. I mean, we put out. I think we put out 40 stories on the Warren County Way that have been backlogged since the middle of May, and I'm sitting there thinking like, this is the time where it's slow. I have people always because I had someone say, oh, well, you're taking vacation in June. What vacation?
Well,
there's already. I mean, we got stories on there where you and I have talked to him today. Danny Fish. Talked to Tim Page. They're at camps.
Yes.
The Warren County boys basketball teams at Coffee County yesterday. They're going to be back there tomorrow. Boy Lady Broncos have been at MTSU the last 2 days. They're going to be back there on Thursday and Friday. Warren County girls team starts at MTSU tomorrow. Boys basketball team starts next week. You really think I do feel like there's a little bit of a doldrum going on. But if you want, you find it. Yeah.
Hey, and then I also hear from a pretty good source that we're going to maybe have some freestyle and breaststroke.
Oh yeah,
backstroke. We got some of that coverage coming. Yeah, we're gonna cover it all now.
I believe the swim team had a pretty good start.
Here's what you can do. Here's what you can do if it's free. You don't have to go in meetings and say, "Well, nobody's buying that story." Free. It's free.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares about those stories.
Yeah.
Well, hey, if it's free. It's free. And you can cancel it any time.
They might even use a little bit of Sean language.
Yes, little Sean language.
About what matters.
I was kind of, when Sean went kind of Warren County Sports Authority, he kind of woke us up. I felt bad for Kelly because she's over going, I don't have the delay.
Yeah, well, good thing about that. This is funny, though, if you want a little inside baseball. But there was somebody that said, why don't we see the people up in the corner? I'm like, we would have had a lot bigger audience if you would have been hearing the conversation of the people up in the corner during that one. In which, too, that we have multiple times where we've acknowledged the sullens of him calling or wanting to call and say, hey, can we do this? When it comes to them, like, you own it, man. You can do whatever you want. If Sean says a little bit of wordy dirt here, it's gonna be okay. It's all right. I don't think they're gonna kick us off Facebook.
One of the greatest compliments we've got is one of Warren's first contributors actually looked at us and said, "You guys kind of talk like some of my coworkers." I said, "Yeah, it's kind of who we are."
In the factory.
Yeah, we're yeah.
Factory, yeah. That's the first time in my entire life when I was.
Nobody's ever going to say those were Harvard graduates.
I appreciate that. All right, well, hey, listen, let's get into Trev's TNT.
We got Trev,
Power Broker of the Week. Again, that's always sponsored by our buddy. And that is our buddy Thomas over there at Napa. When you think of power, you got to think of your friends at the Napa store on Burstable Highway. If you need some extra juice, think about the powerful Legend batteries. And if you do need to feel strong with the strong power tools, they have the powerful stuff like Carlisle, Ingersoll Rand, and Milwaukee Power. You know, someone's love Milwaukee.
Oh, you gotta love that Milwaukee Power.
Yeah. And you can feel free to call them at 931-474-6272 for more information. Napa, the proud supporter of Trev's TNT Power Broker of the Week.
Well, it's going to go to one person, and as I look at this flyer talking about the Phyllis Prater Memorial Cook-Off, and this is who it's got to go to. The amount of time that he spent on this, what he's putting back into the community. Gary Prater.
Absolutely.
What he's doing with this, $24,000 last year in scholarships. It's just a great thing. Like they said when they came on, it all goes back to the community. Gary's not making a dime. It's great. Power broker stuff, man. So shout out to Gary.
And when you say shout out to Gary, this past week, Gary and that whole family's they're in overdrive.
Yeah.
We see an event that they're going to do on Saturday, and when you got 30-something teams in, right. you understand that's going to be a huge day.
Yeah.
But you're not seeing all that they've done leading up to this.
Yeah.
That's why that family and Gary himself. I'm glad that you gave him the power broker because the behind the scenes stuff is we see. You're going to drive by and you're going to see the event. You're going to walk around and see it. nobody sees what it takes to put an event like that on. So
No,
congratulations to him and the family.
yeah, absolutely. And appreciate them stopping by as well, Stephanie and Vicky, coming in and telling a little bit about it. Again, Prater's Barbecue, proud presenting sponsor of the Warren County Sports Authority, and you can go see them on Saturday, June 6th. Again, too, that thing's be starting. You can go get food about 10 a.m. You can probably go over there all day, get those steak sandwiches. I'll probably have 3. At least 3. Over under?
Depends on what time he wakes up.
Yeah, that's good. That's terrible. There was some concern this morning. Large concern.
Large concern. Lisa, get here. Come on now.
Lisa.
Doing this
Start early.
on this one-on-one. Yeah, can't handle this one-on-one. All right. Hey, listen. Let's not take it away. I did have this request.
Yeah.
And when we're back on Wednesdays next week, we will honor this request on this list. Someone told me you got to do the Sellers Rant of the Week before 6:30.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
because I think they're trying to get out the door,
Sure.
but they want that Sellers Rant of the Week. So we are going to start trying to make sure that we'll maybe start the second hour with the Sellers Rant of the Week from here on out on that one. But again, too, the Sellers Rant of the Week is sponsored by Supreme Building Products. Again, if you like Supreme Building Products, you can get a good look at the lobby of it because on Monday,
absolutely.
Born First.
Yes.
They have a great video over there at Supreme Building Products. They're a sponsor and they love supporting our community. Again, they're in that same vibe of all we've been talking about tonight about supporting the community. They're locally owned and operated since 1963. Full service retail lumberyard offering quality products at competitive prices. You can make sure to follow Reese's FYI Fridays for the latest weekly specials. Shop local, shop Supreme Building Products. I'm going to put Sullivan's on the clock at 4 minutes. I'm going to take a under.
You going under? I like it. What do you got?
I think I'll take the under.
You going under?
Trevor, give me a clock, ready to go. Sullins is one camera. You're zoomed in, Sullins, so we are going.
I'm glad that you mentioned Supreme. Yep. Because the rant's going to be a little bit about Supreme, a little bit about Warren First, a little bit about Warren County Joy, a little bit about Warren County what? You watched yesterday, and I think it started. I could be wrong. Kelly can probably, she'll give me she'll tell me if I'm right or wrong. I believe it started last Friday when this organization started taking shape. Thursday night, it started taking shape. Okay. We all know the data center had become, it became a topic that the whole community was talking about. This county, I mean, it was water cooler talk from morning, noon to night. Yeah. And Kelly and Reese said, hey, I tell you, and when I say, hey, I'm thinking this is what they were thinking. Hey, let's organize an event at Supreme. Yeah. And let's see how many people we can get. Let's send some invitations out and let's see if we can educate this community. Okay. And Reese had actually asked me on Friday if I would attend. And it's with all the things we had going on, I kind of said at 9 o'clock that morning, I said, I'm going to listen, but you guys you're going to do a great job. You're going to take care of it. Yeah. Kelly had told me she had lost her voice. So kind of probably put Reese on the spot. Now, Reese, hey, he had the great studio, got the Supreme Building Products facility. And he did a great job. We had the county executive, Terry Baker. Ryle Chastain, the mayor, and there are times that the mayor and I, there's been probably some I don't want to say disagreements, but I've said, hey, there's some things that we probably need to maybe look at. Yeah. You looked at Ryle. Ryle he was coming in from work. Yep. Okay. He wasn't in a suit and tie. Yeah. Ben Loman, they showed up with Brian. The Hicksons, you got to give them credit now. They were there. John Chisholm. They had a question, a young man that did a great job with the questions, along with Ben Powell did a great job with the questions. But you watched how a community really could work. Many people didn't realize at Supreme, and we had been there, and it's a great big room. Yeah. But Kelly says, hey, there's people, there's standing room only. They've not come to buy supplies. They come to watch this event. Okay? It gained so much traction. WKRN comes down. Here's what I'll say. That's how a community is supposed to work. Right, wrong, or indifferent. And there's a lot of different views. And that's why I give the Hicksons, when they walk in that door, they know that their opinions are probably not going to be favorable. And there's nothing they can say that's going to change some people's minds. And they still did it. So bravo to those guys for showing up.
Absolutely.
Bravo to people like Kelly and Warren First for giving that platform to our county and all its residents. Because we were looking at the views. Jeff sitting there with James, and hey, we're getting stories ready to go, and they're going to be coming out. People are going to be getting information. That is how a county should work. Nobody had one agenda. Kelly, myself, Jeff, James, we didn't say, hey, I got to put this story out first. We just said, put it out there and let people read it. Let people see it. We didn't stay in the back corner and say nothing. We put ourselves out there and said, hey, here's information for you. If that's not how this county is supposed to work, I don't know a better way to make it work. That's what the rant is about. I am glad it happened. Not saying tonight's meeting or tomorrow night's meeting, not saying that's right, wrong, or indifferent, but what happened Monday at 9:30 to 11 is exactly how issues should be discussed. And I say bravo and thank you to everybody that was involved. That's all I got tonight.
Should have taken over.
Should have taken that over.
That's all I got.
He figures it out, man. He
does.
always figures out a way to.
What was your opinion of what went on yesterday?
I think I think you're absolutely right. That you should, everybody that sit over there and showed up to speak on that should be applauded for being in that room.
Yes.
First and foremost. And I think there was one lady that we should also point out that was you doing the Q&A. Kai Sage, yes, was another person that was very involved in that, and she was on video. So, Kai, John Chisholm with Katie Fork was there. We had the IT, Benjamin Powell with IT, like you said, and the Denville mayor's there, the county executive, as you said, people that we've taken the task a little bit on this show, but I appreciate them being there. I didn't have to show up there. No. Terry Bell didn't have to go over there, get his bell rung and stuff like that. He just was over there because he wanted to know, we wanted people to know that he was showing up. Yeah. We show up. That's a big thing that we're going to start pushing a lot in Warren County. I think that's what you saw over there on that one. So that was the biggest takeaway I had there. It's like you said, this could have been very easily show up on Tuesday or Wednesday night. Nobody says anything. 6 people vote on it on Wednesday. 5 people voted on it tonight. And 11 people have their say in this. And everybody else is kind of like, okay, well, thanks for we don't know anything out of that. No, we had Kelly gave a Q&A, gave people a Q&A situation where a lot of people got to be over there and hear it. I mean, we're hearing that, 2-3 dozen people show up just to watch it live. It had, good gracious, I couldn't even tell you how many views it's had at this point. 20K views as of right now, which means it's probably going to end up hitting 30 before it's all said and done. It's just unbelievable amount of things that the community doesn't get.
Yes.
If it's not out there.
And when we say that, it's not that we all gathered around some fancy oak table with all this fancy soundboarding and all this type of things. Hey, we went to Supreme Building Products and we said, hey, let's do this. Yep. Or they said, let's do this. Yep. And it worked beautifully. So Therese, hey, you may be the next meeting spot. You know what I mean?
Yep. The next power group.
Exactly. but that in my estimation, when I'm watching that, I'm sitting there going, these people understand how this should work in today's time.
Yeah. Well, I'll say this much too. Again, one of the people that showed up there was Brian Kell of Ben Lomond Connect. Ben Lomond Connect, the sponsor of our message board. America turns 250 this summer, and Ben Lomond Connect, they're celebrating red, white, and you. When it comes through their customers to trust in BLC, they keep their communities connected. It's streaming, gaming, working, and learning across thousands of homes. Again, too, now it's time to celebrate together. From May through July, one random winner will be drawn each month, winning $250 in cash. Giving away cash.
Give away cash.
On that one.
We have to match that.
Just
some way,
email
some more time.
marketing@benlomond.org. Again, email marketing@benlomond.org with any photo of your household and a quick note about how BLC has made a difference in your home or community. Happy birthday, America. Join BLC as they celebrate red, white, and you. Message board has been a little bit tame. Tonight.
It's a
I think-
Tuesday.
I think it's not, the message board's not going up on a
I don't
Tuesday.
think we got them lathered up.
No, I think what happened is I think you're absolutely right. People have made appointment viewing for Wednesday at 5, and we're going to start getting text messages tomorrow.
That's going to happen.
Yeah.
That's going to happen. And then we're going to say, hey, we'll be on ward first.
We're going 6:30. Go see us on
Maybe
Wednesday.
it last 8:30. We got trouble again.
Yeah, it really shouldn't. City, take care of this. So here, 5 minutes.
You know what's going to
everything
happen.
we just did. 5 minutes.
Trev told us.
He did tell us. All right. Well, hey, listen, let's jump into under construction as well. If you're looking to build your dream home in Warren County, Ryan Lawrence Custom Homes is the premier choice for quality craftsmanship and attention to detail. Whether you're starting from the ground up or bringing visions to life, Ryan delivers home built to last. Give him a call today, 931-259-0023, and start building something truly yours. Under construction, Trev, you and myself, we've been talking about it. Got camps going on. We talked a little bit about this too. Under construction, what do you want to see from your roster right now? And then we'll ask Sullins when it comes to the overall roster. But what do you want to see from your kids right now?
Big thing we talked about in practice was, focusing on details. Right now, June, July, that's going to be the time to focus on the little things, because in the season, we may not have, the season moves so quickly, you may not have time to focus on one little small detail, whereas right now we can kind of harp on it and say, hey, you need to do this, you need to do that. Another thing is communication.
Yep.
Defensively, offensively, echoing the play call. I feel like that hurt us a little bit last year in big games. Kids couldn't hear us on the other side of the floor. So we were focusing on the smallest details within the game right now to get prepared for the season.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly with that. We had practices last week. We were a little bit under construction, rosters turning over, got a lot of young kids trying to step up and play varsity basketball with the Lady Broncos, and then just trying to hope to see that they learn the little things that you're talking about. I mean, we're talking about defensive help position, rotating where you need to, knowing, as you said, knowing the plays, knowing the very basics of the plays that we're trying to do, and then the rotations if we're in man or zone or all like this one. But I have a question, Coach. When it comes to constructing a great basketball team, you've done this a couple times. You won a couple district championships. You won just a couple sectionals. You won a couple region games. It's something. No big deal. No power broker type stuff, but pretty good stuff. Let me ask you something. Before y'all won your first district championship, what was y'all's summer record the year before?
I have no idea.
You don't?
No.
And then the next year, obviously, you took it a lot more serious and you really doubled down and got even better in the summer, right?
Care less about the summer.
So again, tell me a little bit about what does June mean to a basketball coach?
June. Everybody has to do it. It's as I got older into it, it became a necessary evil.
Yeah.
Because let's be real. Trev knows this. You know this. Very few want to be in a gym when it's 85 degrees and your buddies are on the lake.
Yeah.
Okay. In fact, very few coaches want to be in the gym when their buddies are on the lake. In fact, Coach Wood and I was always talking about being on the lake while we were going through summer camp.
Yeah.
That being said, things that I wanted to see when it came to our basketball teams. Who was a good teammate?
Yep.
What I mean is, because it's not, a lot of kids like playing, but that's not a time that it's a time for growth. It's a time to find out who can and who can't as far as getting some things done. But it's also a time to figure out, do they really want to be there? Are they attentive? Do they care about their teammates? Or is there some selfishness that is going along with that? I agree. That's some things, because in the summer, as it's going so quickly, you guys both know, you start playing 2 and 3 games, you actually forget what happened at 9:30 because you moved on to the 12:30 game.
Yep.
you're trying to figure out who is actually bought into what you are selling, and are they willing to help others buy in? You're also trying to find out if what young kids are made of. You know what your seniors are made of. You've seen them for 4 years.
Yep.
A young player that's coming in from maybe a county school, or maybe moving up from the freshman team, and maybe they've read press clippings and they've heard this. We got 7 seniors or 6 seniors graduating. That's my time now, and they've not proved a darn thing. They've read a lot of people say how good they're going to be. It's, to me, it was never about wins and losses. It was always about how that team's going to gel together. Because early, you can tell some of our best teams. I knew coming out of summer, we're going to be pretty darn good. And then some of the teams that didn't play well, even in travel, I'm not going to go back to a team that record wasn't that good. We had a great summer with a team that didn't won as few games as we did. And I'll never forget leaving after our last summer game, getting in a car or a truck with some assistants saying, this is going to be a long year. Oof. And we were 12-2.
Yeah.
You could just tell the vibe on it was not positive.
Yeah, I think you're hitting on the right things. With summer basketball, it's something that, as you said, it's not easy.
No,
it's not. It's something that you have to labor through, because there's other people. Even in the story that I wrote, you can go to the Warren County Way and read about it right now. There's a lot of people they're at the pool.
Yes.
They're on the lake, and your friends, and you're like, this is my summer. Why do I have to do this? Because you got to show you prove your bias.
I would also recommend this, and I think we've mentioned this before. Let's say as a player, young lady or young man, boys team or girls team, regardless of what sport, if you're gonna lay out a practice, okay, and it's gonna happen,
Don't post it.
please don't go to social media to snap. And start sending those out, because they get back to coaches. Do they not, Trev? Like kids out there water skiing. I already had a broke arm. Well, it's pretty good. Gotta watch that. That's happened many times. So.
Oh, mercy. All right. Well, hey, listen. Let's get these last 2, because I know.
Let's do, because everybody's ready to go.
I think everybody at home is even sitting there thinking like, man, y'all are the Eagles right now. We can't get y'all off the stage. All right, man. Locked in. Before we get to who's locked in this week, let's talk about the people who make sure you're never stuck on the outside looking in. That's the Locked In segment brought to you by the Lock Shop right here in McMinnville. When you're dealing with your home, your business, your vehicle, these are the folks you call when you need fast, reliable help. If you're locked your keys in your car, need help at your home or office, the Lock Shop has you covered with residential, commercial, and automotive services. They offer 24-hour emergency service when you need it most. They've been your hometown locksmith since 1996. They're bonded, certified, licensed. You know what's getting the job done right. Call 473-4216. 473-4216, and let the Lock Shop get you back in. Let's find out, who do y'all think needs to lock in right now? Tomorrow night, Game 1 NBA Finals, Knicks, Spurs. Who's the player that locks in that ends up defining what this series is?
Jalen Brunson.
Brunson?
Yep. And I think the Knicks got to be locked in from the jump tomorrow night, because they've had so many days off, and rest is a great thing. But there's also a little bit of rust that could come in. So, I'm sure they're doing the proper things. But the Spurs, they're playing as well as anybody right now. But I think if you're going to talk about someone that's going to change the game, it's Jalen Brunson's going to have to play out of his mind to keep the Knicks in the conversation.
I like that. I'm saying Cat, Carl Anthony Towns.
Yeah.
For this reason. We just watched, I think we just watched a tremendous series that we talked about openly for 7 games. And we all said it's going 7 on Game 1.
Y'all both picked the Spurs, too. I picked
But that being said, I think that most people would agree when the Spurs won that series, it was because Wemby took
him out of the game.
He
stuffed him in the locker room.
But quite literally, he was out of the game in the last 5-6 minutes.
So my question for the Knicks would be this: can he do that to Cat? Because let's be honest, in Cat's previous years, there's been times when he disappears. Does a guy like Wemby cause him to disappear? Because if he disappears, and I do like the Knicks basketball team, I do not think they'll win this series.
No, yeah.
But if he disappears, this thing won't go over 5.
I think it's Spurs in 5.
Okay.
Spurs in 5. You think Spurs are?
I think Spurs in. I said Spurs in 5.
I think that when you start looking at it and you talk about Cat, you talk about Brunson on the Knicks, I think you talk about Wemby and you talk about Castle and in some aspects Fox with depending on how his ankle is. I think those guys are going to show up.
Okay.
Who's got to lock in? I think it has to either be Bridges or Vassell. I think those are the guys that are going to end up the next level of guys in this series because I don't think you're going to see anything different from anybody else. That the stars are going to perform. It's the finals. I think who locks in as the role players will be the difference here. Because I mean, you saw a guy like Caruso last series. He almost swung that for the Thunder. But it ended up with the Spurs was a guy like Vassell. Champagny in the last game scored 20 points. I think it's going to be a role player that ends up locking in. And because I'm a Spurs fan and I'm a homer when it all comes to all sports, I'm going to say Vassell locks in. He ends up being a difference. I think the Spurs again too. I think the Spurs in 7. I think this is going to be a ridiculous series.
I don't think so.
I think it's going to be a really tough series.
I think it's 6 at most.
The 6 at most. Okay. Well, I hope it's 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if I can do it.
Go ahead.
That being said, I do think the Knicks have a really good basketball.
Oh, they're
and I think
phenomenal.
they're playing really,
Yeah,
really
they're
well.
phenomenal.
But I do think the Cat Wemby is a problem.
What were you going to say?
When you text this morning, like, man, what's up with Jeff? I was like, it got him. His blood pressure.
Yeah, he couldn't handle it.
That series did all about kill me. All right, listen, we're going to get to the last one. That is the random questions. And that is brought to you by McCorkle
Warren
Landscaping.
first is going, woo! It's kind of like the speakers in the meeting.
Yeah. Hey, if your yard's ready for a makeover, let McCorkle Landscaping bring your outdoor vision to life. If you need grading, sod installation, land clearing, or excavation, they got you covered. And hey, if they even offer professional design consultations to help you plan the perfect outdoor space, big job or small, residential or commercial, McCorkle Landscaping is your go-to team for reliable quality results. You can call today, 931-212-5174. Again, that's 931-212-5174. Again, get McCorkle Landscaping. Digging deep to build your dream outdoors. Trev, questions?
Hey, so talking about Jeff, what's the one time you slept through your alarm or you overslept or something, and you woke up and you said, oh shit. You're late, you saw a message that you needed to respond to quicker than you did. You ever had a moment like that?
It's been a quiet, I can't remember.
You don't sleep.
Can we stop with this all the way soon? I did not sleep through anything today. I didn't know I had to be at work at a certain time. We might need to look at our contractor here or something. Do I have I didn't know I had to work 24 hours a day apparently is my work schedule. Be ready.
If the boss calls, answer.
It has worked. It has worked when people are like, hey, can you do this or that? I'm like, that's really tough, y'all. They're like, what? Why? I'm like, I work for Chris Sullivan. They're like, oh, no, it's question. No, it's question now. I'm like, I don't know. Yeah. So you don't, I don't think you slept through anything.
The guy didn't sleep.
That's what I was about to ask. How much do you sleep?
I sleep a little.
3 hours a night.
Sleep a little.
I really do. I feel like I've talked to you at midnight before.
Yeah.
And then I've gotten messages, and I'm like, I wake up at 9, and all of a sudden I realize you started messaging at like 6.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
six
folks are
is-
reading a lot.
Yeah.
That's not, it just happens.
Well, I guess I'm gonna
I
have to
will
figure it
say
out.
this. I did make a comment today, and I think the last time I slept till 10 is I was 10 years old.
You did.
To answer your question though, Trev, I don't know the last time that I kind of slept through something that I'll tell you this one. First year that I was ever doing this job, 2010, I did sleep through a signing
I remember talking about that.
that I was supposed to be at. It was a cross country signing. I think it was one of those ones where it did get a lot of. Hey, everybody cares about every story.
Yeah.
That's why we write them all.
So they're free.
Yeah, and that's why they're free as well. But I slept through that one, and it actually ended up the coach's husband was the basketball coach. Is the Bears. Yeah, it took about a year for me to even get in the door with Eric Baird after that. He was really pissed.
He was a little
that I didn't show up for that cross country signing for the girl that was a basketball player as well, but B was a standout runner for his wife's team that they had started. He didn't like that at all. So yeah, that might be the last time that I can really remember there being a lot of repercussions. Shout out Trey Miller for that because Trey ended up on staff and kind of bridged the gap for me. And then Baird's my guy now. But yeah, now that was a tough one.
Mine was Friday.
Friday.
So I'm a 2 alarm guy. 6:30, 6:45.
Okay.
First alarm went off. I was like, all right, yeah, I got 15 more minutes. Never heard the second one. I woke up at 7:05 and I was like,
Oh,
gotta go.
boss being hot.
Hey, I got there. I got there in time.
All right, well, hey, I'll ask my question. I think that it's already been answered by our fans. You know, Tuesday night, we moved to Tuesday night. Is this something that you feel like, or do you feel like we are a Wednesday night program? Because I know people have asked before about would y'all move, would y'all do more, would y'all have, I think we've had, our fans have answered tonight. We need to keep this on Wednesday night and keep it rolling.
Well, I think our fans will say we can be any night. They want Wednesday night. We can be any night. Let's just be flat out real. What happened in that room plus this, the attention span, it ain't there, boys. No, you gotta understand. They don't have that attention span. And you know what? I don't either. Can't blame them.
Oh yeah, at some point that's when we even said it. It's like put us on the camera a little while. I was like, I was like, honestly, I think if people were already saying in the comment section, like, can we just get to the WCSA? Yeah, I think everybody got them through.
We got something out.
Now that said, do you want are there going to be more shows? Stay tuned. Yes.
Yes, the pie. We check on the online publication. Just get ready. Simmons Says will be live and in living color in the next 2 weeks.
Yep, we'll be back on it too. All right,
Coach.
Last one.
Great question. Hey, Mitchell McCorkle, we love you and what you do, and you're going to understand why I'm fixing to ask this question. Who's ready to go home?
Me.
Thank you. Case closed. Let's go.
All right, hey, again, too, Prager's Barbecue. See him on
You gotta read the room,
Saturday.
boys.
Gotta see him on Saturday, Prager's Barbecue.
Yep.